Good afternoon, you cheeky lot. How you doing today on this? Do you know what? It can't decide whether it's sunny. It can't decide whether it's raining, which means we're going to get a rainbow. I don't know what that means for West Ham today, but it's going to be very, very interesting. It's one of those games that everything hangs in the balance. It's not a massively important game, but lose it, more pressure on David Moyes, who's sort of relieved some of the pressure by winning against Arsenal. But if we win it, then we sort of go, well, depending on what happens in Newcastle, but, you know, as all things being equal, Newcastle don't get the result that they want against Arsenal. Then we go level with Newcastle, and Newcastle at the moment are sixth. Little breakaway, I've certainly noticed when I looked at the league, little breakaway out of top five there. It's a bit of a shame. Aston Villa are in there. We had an opportunity, didn't we? Had an opportunity to go with them, really, and it didn't happen. So, all manner of things can happen today, as I'm sure you know already. We're missing two key players. We're missing Edson, Alvarez, and we are also missing Lucas Paqueta, which is a massive shame. So it's up to the David Moyes and the coaching team to see if they can mix and match, put together a team, and see if we can get a result against Brentford, who of course have a really good record against us, and they've been doing very, very well since they made their way into the Premier League. Just in case you're a first timer, this is you're popping your hammers chat cherry, so to speak. Here's what we're going to do in the live build-up. We have lots of talk about the game. In about a minute and a half, the lineups will be revealed. I will talk you through the lineups. We will react to them. I think most of us know probably 99.9% of what's going to happen. After we've had a little chat about that, then what we'll do is we will compile a bet. Now, the bet is always very, very interesting. It's mostly a lot of good fun, and nobody wins any money usually. But one day somebody will, because what we do is we put together a bet, which gives some quite good odds. The idea being that someone in the live chat is going to win the money. Someone in there one day will get a bet, will win a lot of money in the live chat. So we'll get to that in just a bit. I can't do it on my own, okay? I really can't do it on my own, but I'll need your help to put the bet together. People are asking where Gio is. I'm afraid not Garino. No, that's not. He's not. That was last week. It was last week. It was midweek, wasn't it? Of course, he went to the. It wasn't a bake-off thing. It was a Mary Berry book signing. So, you know, let's be fair to the guy. No, he's actually made it through to the. He's made it out of the regional tournament. To basically represent the north of England. So he's not even dancing for Scotland. And basically, he's basically got through the regional Morris dancing competition. So, what can I say? Anyway, right. Hopefully the team's up. That's all I'm going to say about that. Didn't do very well then, did I, really? Sorry. Cracked a smile. There we go. Right. Let's read out the read out the West Ham team. West Ham haven't put up the West Ham team. You probably know. There you go. Here it is. Right. So the West Ham team for today to face Brentford away from home. Ooh, I think we're playing in a blue kit, apparently. It's Areola in goal, as you would expect. Oh, it is Vladimir Sufal at right back. It's Konstantinos Mavropanos, the finest name in the whole of football, is playing at centre-half alongside Naif Agurd. So the eagle-eyed amongst you will have already noticed there is no Kurt Zuma. There were Zuma rumours all week that he would not be able to get over his little injury that he had. He certainly didn't train yesterday. Emerson Palmieri is playing at left back. He's been really good this season, hasn't he? This is going to be interesting for David Moyes, and something he really had to do, which was pair James Ward-Prowse alongside Thomas Potato Salad Soucek, and we've got Mohamed Kudus. I'm pretty certain he'll be playing an attacking midfield. And then we've got Said Ben Rama, we've got Jared Bowen, and we have got Michael Antonio. Look, we will get to the the substitutes in just a second. I have only this to say. I'm really pleased. I've been playing catch up to Gio for a long time now. When we've been doing our fan hub, not the other hub, fan hub. This was my predicted 11. I got a crow about it because I get it wrong every single time. So it wasn't necessarily the 11 I wanted to see. That was my predicted 11. So I'm pretty pleased with that. So that gives me some additional points there. So there you go. There's the team, Mavropanos. The big news is Mavropanos in for Zuma. Going to be no surprise there with Soucek and Ward-Prowse. It's not the worst team I've ever seen. I mean, to lose such big hitters such as Sorry, there's Mark. How are you, mate? Hope you're well. Yeah, Mark's quite happy with that team. Not bad, is it? Yeah, but to lose such big hitters. I'm sorry. I got distracted. I look at Max. He's always at it. I'll have to block it out. I have to block out the chat for the bit. He was talking about Eamon Holmes yesterday. To lose Lucas Paqueta and to lose Edson Alvarez, and to be able to play this team, I think it does show that we do have a little bit of squad depth. I really do. I do want Benrahma to step up in this game. I think that's incredibly important because I think his role was very much like a workman-like role. Do you remember I always used to talk about how Pablo Fornals had been turned from an attacking player into I used to call him a holding winger, like a defensive wide player. I think David Moyes has been in the process of turning inside Benrahma. He's going to slap the creativity out of him, basically, and he's going to turn him into that. I thought we saw it reached full peak. He'd gone to his transformation from the rebellion to the dark side had been complete for that game that we played against Arsenal. The reason I thought it was really hard-working performance from Benrahma was because it allowed Paqueta to play. No Paqueta in this one, so actually we're going to need some creativity from Benrahma in this game. Right, let me let's go back and I'll read out the substitutes to you. So we've got Lucas Fabianski, and we have Angelo Ogbonna, Tilo Kehrer, El Fornicador, the fornicator Pablo Fornals, Danny Ings, Fanny Stings, as we sometimes, right, what can you say? Maxwell Cornet, Maxwell unlikely to play Cornet, to give him his full name. Aaron Cresswell. Oh, this is Davima Bama is playing. Well, he's not playing. He's on the bench playing. Who am I kidding? He's not going to play, is he? Let's be honest. And we got Ben Johnson. So, I mean, as far as David Moyes, and this is going by David Moyes, and what I'm saying, David Moyes is scraping the bottom of his barrel as far as he is concerned. Ionix got one wrong in the lineup. To be honest with you, my friends, I normally get more than one wrong, so you've done better than I usually do on that one. Right, Bevo, can we have the opposition team? Do you know that? By chance, oh, he does. Flecken, that's I wasn't swearing then. Aya, Collins, Pinnock, Janelt, Norgard, Onyeka, Jensen, Mbeumo, Wissa, and Mupai. Oh, he's a flecking good goalkeeper. He is, that one. I'll tell you what. In fact, there's your phrase that pays. That's easy. That's done. One less thing for me. Think about that is. I think it's all. I think Gio might have predicted this team. Gio very much might have predicted this team when we did our Patreon breakfast this morning. He was doing a warm up. He was doing some stretches, getting ready for the warm up for the Morris dancing. He just finished washing and pressing his handkerchiefs and polishing his bells, ready for the good old Morris dance today. But he did, amongst all of that and practicing his moves, he did manage, I think, to get the Brentford lineup right. So, yeah, really good. We probably need to know this. Now, I actually do have a more pertinent question, which I'd like you to answer in the chat, but I'll ask that later if someone reminds me. It's got... It's to do with pizza, really, but I'll ask you later. In the meantime, can you please vote in the poll and let us know how you feel? How you feel, not what you think. We've gone all pink and fluffy. We're very sensitive here at Hammers Chat. I want to know how you feel about the starting lineup. Do you feel betrayed? Do you feel elated? No, I don't think they're in there. We should one day do that, Charlie. But anyway, I think we've gone a lot more uniform than that. So there's a number of choices there. Maybe you just think it's okay. Maybe you're devastated and disgusted. Maybe you are absolutely elated with that lineup. It would be very, very interesting to see. Jay, I'll just answer you that. That's on our Patreon. Yes, I think that's for addicts and mild addicts is the breakfast show. But don't worry, everyone. Mate, if you don't want to upgrade, you don't have to upgrade. There's loads and loads of stuff that everybody gets. Please check it out in the description below. We've got loads of additional videos on there. 3 different tiers, going from as little as 90 pence per week. It's basically our third YouTube channel. We've got Anton Ferdinand Podcast, Hamalytics, big discounts to our store, breakfast shows, our reviews, previews, player ratings. We've got a really stupid podcast on there. We don't discuss football at all. We'll get to that another time. And I see Garino is probably wants to slip it into the pizza talk. We'll do that a little bit later. Broad nailed the team as well. I think probably before we go and do our bet, Charlie, my friend, can we have the bench, please, for Brentford? He's quick, isn't he? Stratoshka, is that right? I'll have to go to Azanka, Agodos, me, Ruaslev, Yarmo, Luke. Is that right? Oh my goodness! Honestly, this is terrible. I laugh at Gio, but it ain't easy, is it? Ruaslev, Yarmo, Liuk, Olakibi, Brearley, Adidokam. Got that one. There you go. There's the bench. I got to say, I'm looking at there. I don't know any of those players. No, I know me. It's Ben Me, isn't it? So the shortest name that's easiest to pronounce, that's the one I know, which shows you how ill-educated I am. There you go. That's the Brentford team. Just in case you don't know what the West Ham team is, it's as we suspected, as many of us suspected, of course, and that is Areola's in goal. Soufal is at right back. No Kurt Zuma today, so Konstantinos Mavropanos comes in at centre-back. Nigel Gerd next to him. Emerson left back. Suchek and Ward-Prowse in the centre of midfield. I think, and I guess, it's Mohamed Kudus in attacking midfield, possibly. Said Ben Rama almost certainly be on the left. Bowen on the right with Mikel Antonio, hopefully in beast mode. We need that, don't we? Would be up front. Okay, right then. I think, boys and girls, it's probably time that we did a little bet. Now, I know a lot of you were saying that Mopai would score against us. Now, somebody, funny enough, in our Patreon breakfast show said that Mopai has not. I don't know if this is right. Mopai's not scored for 40 games. 40 games. Can that be right? Someone's asking who's captain. It's Ward-Prowse, by the way. 40 games. Well, you just know someone ain't scoring for 40 games. He's good. I remember when. Do you remember Fernando Torres? A brilliant player at Liverpool, wasn't he? Really, really good. And then he went to Chelsea and he was crap. But he'd gone to Chelsea and he'd not scored for. I mean, it was a long time. Certainly for far longer than a player as World Cup winner, all the stuff. Far longer than a player of that quality should have gone for. Oh, you know what? They rocked up. You remember this. Not the first time it's happened. Up he rocks at West Ham, scores. Of course he bloody did. If you're on a barren run, you want to play West Ham. Well, that's how it's been traditionally. I don't think we've been too bad in recent years because, I don't know, because things have changed, I guess, in that sense. But I do wonder if we... Okay, so Mopai scored. Mancunian Hammerson, Mopai scored against us last season for Everton. So I do wonder if we want to put him in the bet. But first of all, the first thing I'm going to need is... Hold on a second. Hold on. Let's have a little rework. If one of Gonzo's bets ever comes, someone is getting... Here is the... Yeah, you're absolutely right. Listen, I don't muck around. I don't want someone to win £100, right? I want someone to win £500 or £1,000. That's what I want to happen, right? So... let's find a scoreline. With that in mind, if we just bet on a 1-0 Brentford win, number one, it's going to be no fun, right? Number two, it's not going to allow us to do multiple goal scorers. Number three, it's going to yield a very, very low return. I want a good return. I want a big return. I want to give someone some money. So, Lewis Jacobs, I see you. Hold on, I see you, but I can't click on you. Lewis Jacobs is going with the 2-2. The Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Right. I'm going to go onto this bet. And whilst I am doing that, so a 2-2 would be a draw, actually, wouldn't it? 2-2 would definitely be a draw. That is, I think I've just got to add that to the bet slip. That's how we do it. That's a bet slip. Yes, that one's done. I'm not very good at all this. You have to excuse me. Okay, I think we're going to need, boys and girls. Hello, Sketch. How are you, mate? Hope you're keeping well, my friend. We're going to need some goal scorers. And so can we have both West Ham goal scorers, please? And can we have one from Everton? I'm going to go. I don't have Everton. Brentford. I'm going to go and put that on now. It's going to be Mopai because it's just be wrong not to do it. We'd kick ourselves, wouldn't we, if he scored and we hadn't bet on him. So while I'm doing Mopai, what I need from you, lovely people, is I need you to basically to think of another 2 goal scorers, namely from West Ham. I'll do it. I've just seen it. It caught my eye. It's going so quick. I think it's Simon. Simon, I'll do it, mate. I will absolutely do that. I like it. Why not? Let's just show more. So Dinos, he's obviously meaning Konstantinos Mavropanos. Just looking at this bet slip here. I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, hold on. Hold on. It is sort of working. It is sort of working, mate. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put both of them on here. Do you know what? You have to excuse me. I've done the bloody bet wrong here, I think. Don't worry about it. We'll do it as a separate one. This will teach me. And the other one is, where is he? Where is Dinos? Konstantinos Mavropanos. Add to bet slip. There we go. Right then. So I'm accepting that. I've got to place me bet now. I don't know how much I meant to be putting on it. Right, I've done it wrong. I haven't done it as an accumulator. I'm going to do it all again. I do apologise. You just have to stick with me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all those things on when Charlie. Well, in fact, while you're typing this in, I'm going to put that bet on again. Here's what the bet is, right? So the bet's going to be West Ham 2, Brentford 2. Obviously, we're away from home. That's absolutely good. We're going to Konstantinos Mavropanos to score. We are going to do Neil Mopai to score. And, of course, we're going to do Mohamed Kudus to score. What I want you to do right now is in the live chat, this is the phrase that pays. If you don't enter this into the live chat, you don't have much of a chance. We don't have any chance of winning. Never mind much of a chance of winning. The phrase that pays is, he's a flecking good goalkeeper. That's what I want you to put in there. Do that now. Do that now. And then you are entered into the competition to hopefully win the bet. I'm going to give you what the odds are in just a second. Once I've just got to find Konstantinos Mavropanos again, we're going to add all of that to the bet slip. We're going to put a stake in there. Right. It's as simple as this, basically. The bet is this. If you've done that, one person in the live chat is going to win £500. There you go. £500. Can't say fairer than that. Might not happen. But there you go. He is. I'm thinking that it's Flecking. It is Flecking. It's the goalkeeper. That's the point. So his name is Flecking. He's a Flecking good goalkeeper, is the point. All right. But you know what? I'm not going to be pernickety. I'm not going to be pernickety. That's what it should be. Anyone that's even had a go at it. Do you know what? In fact, any attempt at spelling the goalkeeper's name is good and gets you entered into the competition. There we go. Thank you very much for being so patient with me. It's actually not, believe it or not, I've got all these windows open on the screen. It's not easy jumping between all the things, but we got the bet on. We got it done in the end, even though I mucked it up. For those of you still people asking, James Ward-Prowse is captain, Areola Soufal, Mavropanos Agurd, Emerson Souček, James Ward-Prowse, Mohamed Kudus, Said Ben Rama, Jared Bowen, Mikel Antonio. The teams are scrolling across the bottom of your screen. That's quite therapeutic, actually. They're scrolling across the bottom of your screen as it is. I don't know if you could just see, just there, you might be able to see the sun coming. There's a little bit of sunshine. That's a ray of sunshine, which has got to be a really, really good omen. So, look, you've done the poll. I'm not talking about the poll. We'll get the results from the poll when Charlie comes. Thank you very much, Keith. When Charlie comes and joins us to take you through the watch along. But if you don't know, if it's your first time, well, I'm gonna basically talk with you, have a little discussion with you for the next 15 minutes. Then Charlie's going to join us, take you through the watch along. So if you want to watch the game amongst in a bosom of fellow West Ham fans, you can sort of mute the TV, listen to Charlie and join in the live chat. And then after that, once Charlie's finished, I'll be back with the review to either celebrate with you or we'll all commiserate with each other and be pretty annoyed, really. But hey, look, we'll see what happens anyway. But anyway, so when Charlie comes on, we'll discuss the poll. How are you feeling about the team at the moment? Well, you know, just tell me. Are you confident? No scores yet. We'll do scores. Give us another 5-10 minutes, and we will do the scores. I think I'd be interested. I don't want to preempt what you're going to say, but I do think I do wonder how it's going to turn. There's been a lot of doom and gloom around West Ham. I think certainly up until the Arsenal game. The Arsenal one was a funny one, wasn't it? I mean, it was really enjoyable when it was great and it is some really decent performances. One of those, yes, he is, mate. One of those performances where everyone worked really hard. There wasn't anyone with a bad attitude or anything like that. There was nothing going on like that at all. But we got sort of 90 minutes to enjoy it. And then there was the draw, wasn't there? And the draw pitted us against Liverpool at Anfield in the quarterfinals. So it was like, it was a bit like that, really. However, I do think before that, let me just click on Toby's there, so I'll forget it if I don't. Before that, I think it was a bit of doom and gloom. So has that given people a little bit more confidence? It'd be very, very interesting to see. So Toby thinks it'll be a 4-4-2. I mean, I'd love to think that. Honestly, I can't imagine. I just can't imagine him doing it. That would be very, very different. I mean, that's interesting, Max. Yeah, absolutely. Got a good feeling about this one. I have as well. But I don't know why. I have no evidence at all. Has he, Bill? Honestly, he is a machine. He's an absolute machine. Ryan thinks Kudus will be in the number 10 role. Yeah, I think so too. And do you know what? I'd be very, very interested to see him there. I don't mind him there. I like him there. I like him on the right as well. Obviously, he's really good as he cut in there. He's one of the few players I don't want to see on the left. It's a funny one. Not that I've got anything against that. Like sometimes I'd like to see Bowen on the left because Bowen's really direct. He'll just deliver the ball. I'd do it every game. For 10 minutes, just switch the wingers. Put Benrahma on there, Bowen on the other side, and just get some fast deliveries into the box. Particularly when, when Antonio's in the team, he's got obviously a physical presence in there. There's West Ham massive, which of course is Gatesy. Okay, interesting shape there. There you go. Thank you very much, Rob. And that's 1-0 to West Ham. Yeah, I mean, hello, Mark. I think that would be interesting to see if we really can get this clean sheet. It'd be very, very good, I feel, for the teams. We've not had that many of them this season, have we? Let's be honest with you. Lots of people talking about this. Can someone clarify this? Is this taking Antonio's record? That's what I'm asking. Or is this what we're talking about, which I think it might be, which is the away goals? I think it's probably this one, which is he'd drawn level with quite a few players by scoring in consecutive away games. And I think if he gets this one, he scores in this one, he gets the record. So this is a really good point from Maverick. So when we pressed high, we made Arsenal make mistakes. It's very true. Gave the ball away. Do you know what, Maverick? We did it last season. We did it against Arsenal as well. I think pretty much. Look, Liverpool and Everton take a lot of the credit for ruining Arsenal's title charge. I think we did, and it's because we pressed. Thank you very much, Roger, Ricky's dad, and Roger's just saying that it's the Premier League away record. Mark is saying there's a lot riding on Souček's shoulders today. Yes, I think there is, but I've got to say, I think I was quite impressed. He didn't steal the limelight against Arsenal. I don't even think he was in our top 5 players against Arsenal. Well, Mark, so you did see the player ratings. He wasn't. But I thought he was a menace in both boxes. He was a menace in their box. I thought he was really good in ours when the balls were coming over. So it's going to be. I totally agree what you're saying. Rocky says I would like to see Moyes try Antonio left wing, Bowen in the middle. I could do something right wing. Yeah, look. I just wish he'd. Do you know what it is? You know what it is, Rocky? Is giving the opposition manager something to think about. The opposition manager probably knows exactly. All right, look, he's got the team sheet. He knows what the team is. Fine. But wouldn't it just be something if he didn't know who was going to be on the left and who was going to be on the right? And just that sort of thing. Just to have him scrambling around. You know what I mean? Just so so he's not sat there relaxed giving his team talk. He's actually got the pen and paper in his hand or whatever, the whiteboard, and moving the pieces around saying, oh, right, okay, that's wrong. Okay, so, right, Pinnock, you're now marking him. You thought you were marking him and blah, blah, blah. And it's just all different. I just, there's something for that, really do think so. Kelsey says it's a very attacking team. I guess it is. It's all about intent, isn't it? That's the thing. He can put it together as much of an attacking lineup as he wants. But what's the intent? What's the instruction? You could almost have another attacking player in there. But if instruction is to everybody sit back, then we'll struggle. But it will be it will be interesting. It will be really, really interesting to see what happens in this one, because I do think the whole vibe, if we win this, and there's no evidence to suggest we will, if we do win this, I think the whole vibe changes just in terms of from last week to this week. I don't know. Okay, right. Listen. That's what I want to know. I can't do a poll. I can't do a poll. All right, I can't do a poll at all. I want to know, and I know we've asked this before, but I've got to say, look, a couple of the old group chats have got a little bit funny here. We'll get, and I only want 60 seconds of this. I just want to see. So you got your pizza, all right? You're ordering your pizza from wherever. Are you having tomato sauce as the base or barbecue sauce as the base? I don't want to influence this. On a pizza, tomato sauce as a base or barbecue sauce. 60 seconds, then I'll stop talking about it, all right? I need to know this stuff, and you're going to have to tell me in the chat. I can't do it that scientifically because I won't be able to count them. I'm just interested to know, because it has been it's oh my words. Okay. You know what? Wow. I'm just looking at these. There's no point me clicking on them. I just really wanted to see them come through. I think, and I will have to do this scientifically at some point. Oh, see, Hammerdown Under said depends on the toppings. I can't do this stuff at the moment. Oh, Mika said both. Someone said garlic bread. What an answer. I think. Oh, that is. Some people, honestly, so I wish I could stop the chat here. Someone said, there it is. Sorry, I found it. Tomato Q. That's a hybrid, isn't it? There's a hybrid of both. I think tomato wins it. We'll do it scientifically one day, but I'm going to use this information. And to be fair, it's the Hammers Chat Addicts. It's the Patreon Addicts WhatsApp group. So they hopefully, well, I bloody hope they're watching this anyway. What are they paying for if they're not? I just wanted to sort of prove a point within the chat. There's other stuff going on there. There's conversations about cronuts, muffons. No, not muffons. That's what I made up. Cruffins. And there's also another conversation about crumpets and whether Marmite's any good. So there you go. That's just the type of stuff we talk about. We're not talking about football. I'm going to move on now. What I really want to know now, though, is can I have your score predictions in, please? Robert, I can't do Charlie to do a poll in this one. We will do it another time on a less important video. I promise. I love discussing this stuff. I love going off on a tangent. I really do. We'll do it all. We'll have a lot of fun. We'll find out. We'll do some food stuff. We really will. It's just with the game approaching. I've got before I hand over to Charlie. I've got 5 minutes before I hand over to Charlie. So I want to get some of your scores in and get back to the football. So Keith has said 2-2. Mark 1-1. So a couple of draws there. Okay, so 3-1. But just so as you know, if you type it like this, Brentford are the home team. I'm assuming that you're saying Brentford 3, West Ham 1, unless I am otherwise corrected on that. 2-0 Brentford. Thank you very much for qualifying. Ionix, to quantifying, sorry. Ionix says 2-2. Archbishop Desmond on that one. Look, I've got to say, Mark, I'm fancying it. I don't know why. I actually put it on my bet as well. I'm fancying this. I am fancying this on my accumulator bet, which is a bit of a whopper today, actually. I think, depending on the Man U, though, I think it might. Oh, no, I was only doing 3 o'clock kickoffs on one of my accumulators. I've got West Ham to win 2-1 on it. I really have. 2-2, which I may well. That may, like a tomato sauce base, it may well be that 2-2 is the preferred scoreline on this, actually. Scampy, all this stuff is I know it's not his spelled a thing, but that's making me hungry, right? I am starving. 2-1. That's what a fine dog. What a fine dog. That's like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of dogs, I think, isn't it? A fine looking muscular dog there. I'm a bit nosy. I do like people. And that's an M&M. Kiosi has got an M. Thank you very much. He's telling me that they're beating Fulham. Tracy's, that's 2-1 to West Ham, which, as you know, is my chosen scoreline myself. Dave, who's at the beach, a nice day for it, Dave, may I say. It's 3-1 to the mighty Iron. Stephen, who kindly collates all our data on our player ratings and is a good dude. And he looks like a cowboy because he's on horseback there. He's not. All right. He's actually not. Chris says 1-1. And do you know what? He's been very precise. Bowen for the goal. Bernard, 3-1 to West Ham. Absolutely. Well specified. Bill says 2-1 West Ham. The lovely Joan. Hello, Joan. I hope you're keeping well. Long time Hammers Chat supporter there, Joan. Says the West Ham win. She's not specifying the score. She doesn't need to, quite frankly. West Ham to win 2-1, says Harry. Simon says 1-3, which means a 3-1 win for West Ham. Stephen Russell, 1-0. Do you know what? I bet out of all the scores, David Moyes would like that one with a clean sheet. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he doesn't want 10-0. Of course, naturally. 1-0 clean sheet. I think that would give us a 0 goal difference as well again. I think we're -1. I might be wrong. I think we're -1. I don't know why I clicked tomato. David thinks tomato's going to win. I know why you've typed it, David. Don't worry. Man, this is precise from Samuel. 2-1. Mopai, Kudus, Bowen, goal scorers. There you go. Fezza, 1-1. Hammer down under. Sadly, with regret, 2-0 to Brentford. 2-1 Brentford, says Carl. Just do a couple more here before we'll go a little bit more chit-chat. Tartan Diego Simeone's massive passes. I like that. I really like it. Well said. Mays is 2-1 Brentford. Again, let's say like that emoji. It's with regret. Mays is saying with regret. I don't want to say it, but thinks it'll be 2-1 Brentford. 2-1 to the Irons, says Trucking Hammer. Major with his beautiful T1 split screen camper says 2-2. So it must got to be the most popular scoreline today, right? Everyone else been watching the chat. Everyone's been clicking. I've got to be 2-2. Mick says 2-1 to the Hammers. Kevin Minter says 2-1. That's to us. Come on, you Irons. Oh, Joan. She specified the West Ham win. Now she's telling us exactly by what means and how and where we're going to do it. Jay's hedging their bets, right? With either two. Basically, it's a West Ham win. We'll go with that. Is this a trick question? It's a trick question. See, I'm a bit paranoid. It's Angelo, right? I just wonder. Maybe you don't know. Maybe Mark doesn't know. I thought it might be a trick question. Actually, in my mind, I was trying to think: does it sound rude at all? Am I going to say something a bit naughty in the? Don't want to say a bit naughty. Not 2:30 on a Saturday afternoon. It's for 2:30 on a Sunday afternoon. That's when you say that type of stuff. Ruben Prince, 2-0 to Moyes' Army. Michael says Brentford 1, West Ham 2. Get in. That's it, Michael. That's my chosen score. We are aligned, my friend. I think we'll do a few more. Hey, what else are we going to do? John says 2-1 to West Ham. Paul, who's on our bench? Do you know what, Paul? I will tell you who's on our bench. And you know what? I have a Charlie pop up. It doesn't matter. Don't need to. I've got it up here, actually. On our bench, Fabianski, Ogbonna, that's Angelo Ogbonna to you. Tilo Kera, Pablo Fornals, Danny Ings, Maxwell Cornet, Aaron Cresswell, Divine Mubama, and Ben Johnson. That's the composition of the bench, matey. So we have got Tom says 4-3, West Ham 4-3. I'm going to pop it up there because I am. There we go. I love a strong food opinion. Ironically, I don't like strong foods, but I do like a strong food opinion. Danny Moore says 2-1 to West Ham. Walshy says 2-1 to West Ham again. Robert, a bachelor, says 1-0. 1-0 to West Ham. It's a 1-0 away win. Come on, you Irons. Trevor, it's a 2-1. It's the 2-1. It's got to happen, isn't it? It's got to happen. The footballing gods. I don't know why people say the footballing gods. I just said it. There are none, are there? There are no footballing gods. They can't. If they are, they're mean and they're cruel. And they care not about West Ham. I'll tell you that. 1-1 or 2-2 draw all the way, says Frankie. Dan says tomato 7, barbecue 1. Those are your classified football results, basically. And this is the Nick by day, which is what are Brentford? Are Brentford Athletic? Oh, are they not Brentford United? What are Brentford? What are Brentford? Because I was going Brentford 2, West Ham United 2 was what I was going to say. Anyway, I'd like to know. Someone's going to tell me what Brentford are. That was Nick. Anyway, there you go. Therein lies your classified results for today. Charlie will join us in a minute. He's there.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
They're an FC.
Brentford FC 2, West Ham United.
Okay. Yeah, they don't have like a United or anything else. It's just Brentford FC. No messing about. Straight to the point.
Did you search?
Just it's up here. Just in the dome, that one.
Okay.
Just in the dome. I used to go to Brentford a lot when I was a kid because it was cheap because they were crap at the time. But back they were in the lower leagues, and a lot of my family were in West London, and so there are some Brentford supporters, and so I would go there a lot as a kid when there was literally the ground was half empty, it was falling apart. This was obviously before they got the new ground, and so I always had like a little soft spot for Brentford. So I know that one. That one's up in my brain. If you asked me other ones, I'd probably flop. So I don't want to act like I've got knowledge here. It just happens to be what it is.
Hold on. A Rovers FC? Because obviously Bournemouth are AFC, they're Athletic Football Club.
Yeah, you get some AFCs as well.
But if you're a Rovers, are you also an FC? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure every club.
It's Blackburn. I've never heard Blackburn Rovers FC. Nottingham Forest FC? I don't know. Blackburn
I don't know.
Rovers.
We need to know. Are
we getting an FC on here? Oh, but Blackburn Rovers FC, apparently.
Is it really? So he's right. He might be right.
Might be right.
Is he right? Every club are FC. That is interesting.
What about like Inter Milan?
FC? They're not. What about
No,
Real Madrid?
Because they have Barcelona or FC, but they have it at the beginning.
FC Barcelona.
FC Barcelona.
So can I just say something here, right? So the other day, it got me thinking. So I got corrected on. Someone was, and he did. You know, like the emoji. The emoji. That one. Why do you? And he typed out. It's anyway. It's not Kudus. It's like this. Right. So right.
Proper.
He's
angry.
Yeah. He's angry. Right. I thought, I do. You know, I'm not the best. But then it got me thinking. All right. So I want you to say, right. So if I were to say, you could, how far do you want to go? So you could say James Rodriguez scored against Barcelona, right? Okay. Or you could say James. Let's say it looks like James, right? You could say James Rodriguez played against Barcelona. Now people would pull you up on the James, but they wouldn't pull you up on the Barcelona. Because actually, if you're going to do it, you probably want to say James Rodriguez scored against Barcelona. So I find people only half do it. So I get pulled up on this other stuff. I think people are only half doing it.
I would ask you this question as a follow-up to that. Is the Barcelona bit, though, an accent as opposed to a pronunciation? If you see what I'm saying. I think it is. No, I think it is a pronunciation because it's like they don't it's not pronounced like Numancia. It's Numancia. That's how you Numancia, and people won't say it, so they'll say Numancia. That's so. I think it's interesting. I find people pick and choose where they want to be accurate, and I say it's like the Anthony Martial thing. Of course, if you were going to pronounce it how it looks, it's Marshall, but I do the Anthony. So I'm not so sure. I think we need educating on this. I'm personally I always used to say this, right, and this was when I was studying English language, which was probably a wrong take to say when you study English language, right? But my whole point is, if I know what you're saying, I don't really care how you say it. Do you know what I mean? If you know what you're going for, then I don't think it particularly matters. So sometimes, I'm studying English language, we're doing Shakespeare, doing all that nonsense. Just putting words in weird places, right? It's fine as long as we know what you're saying. I don't think it matters too much, you know. To a lesser extent, the Dave Azpilicueta thing, right? I feel like, although that was a joke, I feel like everyone knew what they were saying. If a Chelsea fan was talking about Dave, they knew they were talking about Azpilicueta, so I don't really see the issue in this.
Dave? Is that his name? He's not first. What is his name?
Cesar.
Cesar.
But when he first turned up, no Chelsea fan knew how to pronounce as Paqueta because it was such a ridiculous spelling. So they just called him Dave instead to make it easy. You know?
Hold on. What's Tone alluding to here? What's he suggesting? Jose. Is that what you say, Jose? That's how you would say it, right? Jose. But people don't, do they?
Also,
he would know. Well, I'll tell you what Tony knows. He's Portuguese. He's a Portugueser.
I was going to say it's Portuguese, right?
Yeah.
But Jose.
Absolutely.
Jose.
It does. He knows it. Well, you say who cares, Harry? Yeah, I get put on a naughty step in the comments. Many care. So at the moment I'm Kudus, but I may change. But I went from Paqueta to Paqueta, and now I'm back on the Paqueta again. Anyway, how do you think we'll get on with neither Lucas Paqueta or Paqueta in the team?
Oh, we're losing. But for me, it's one of those games where it's way more important what the performance is like than the result. So I feel like without those two players specifically, I feel like it's almost an impossibility for us to win a little bit at the moment, right? Just at the moment, we're in a bit of bad form, whatever else. As long as I can come away from this game and go, I'm proud of happy with how they put on their performance, how they stepped out onto the pitch, they gave it their best, they did what they could, then I'm happy. Whatever the result is after that, it's great. Look,
no chance for a win? You're thinking no chance for a win?
I think it's incredibly unlikely. Okay. I think it's incredibly unlikely. I mean, realistically, I'm looking at our team. Don't get me wrong, it's not exactly a bad lineup on paper, but defensive midfield does not exist. It just doesn't. Ward-Prowse and Souček together as a combo just doesn't work. You need Alvarez. And then going forward, I feel like Paqueta is so important to everything we do that it's almost an impossibility. I feel like there's something there. There are players there that can perform, but when Kudus first joined, for example, one of the things I was saying, because initially my stance when we were initially signing him was I have no idea where he fits into this team. I've just got no clue where he fits into this team because he's not going to get in head Bowen, he won't get in head in Paqueta, blah, blah, blah. But my stance then quickly evolved to, actually, I think that's a good thing because I would hate to see a situation in which he came in and then would have to be the most important player from the get-go and have to do everything. Yeah. Because, and that's sort of played out. We've got a little vibe. It's sort of slowly getting there. Good. What a time to be alive. Today's one of those days where it would be like, he has to perform. He has to do something because the rest of that team's not really going to. And so it's like, I just can't, I think it's unlikely. But as long as it's like the performance is there, as long as the work rate is there, then I don't mind. I don't really care too much what the score is. Having said that, if you told me, can we take a smash and grab 1-0 win? Yeah, sure, of course we would. But I feel like for form, I would prefer the performance.
Okay, I just want to clear this up because it's been asked. It's been asked, and then I've got to say it has also been answered.
My granddad once asked why you were called that.
What, Gonzaldinho or the shortened version?
No, he didn't know about Gonzaldinho. The short version.
How can you not?
No. He didn't. To be fair to him, man did not know how to use a computer, so he was not watching the videos. It was just when I was speaking about stuff that was going on.
Didn't seen the awesome techers video, no? And all that.
No, he missed that one. Unfortunately.
Why Real Madrid want to sign Gonzaldinho? He didn't see that one, no, with the dance music at the start.
No.
Me kissing the badge, not all that stuff. What did the poll? What did the people say? Not about Gonzaldinho. I mean about the poll.
Probably very positive. We asked how you felt about the starting 11. Also, I think you're right. One day we will just do one with overly insane language. 0% of people said they were very unhappy. I've never seen that happen before, but 0%. 5% of people said it's very poor. Said it's poor. 30% of people said they were very happy, and 62% were, yeah, it's fine. Which is probably right. I mean, I'm surprised. Maybe I'm not surprised at how little the negative ones combined to be, especially with the 0%. Maybe I'm not surprised because it is. I mean, if you're taking out those two players, that is still probably the 11 most people would pick, I would suspect. I don't see many changes.
I think people are chilled. I think people are chilled. I'm loving this. Some really good takes on my name here. Some excellent ones. I'm going to change stuff. Things are going to be changing around here, I tell you.
Give a man a nickname, and all of a sudden he starts a running riot.
Not me. Don't blame me. I didn't bring it up in the chat. But I think people are very chilled with the tea. Ben's having fun. I like it. Yeah. Anyway, yes, it's. I'm looking forward to it. I got to say, I don't know why, and you know what? I'm quite prepared that I will come down here steaming afterwards with steam coming out of my ears and unhappy and moaning about this, that, and the other. How do you get that strong? And he did this, and he did this. And if I do, I don't know, But at the moment, I'm feeling pretty positive about it. Actually, I don't know why. I do feel that we can win. I really do.
I think we can win, and I think one of the things I said before the Aston Villa game, I think applies to this as well. I think there are a lot of teams in this league that are quite close together. I would put Brentford in the sort of group that we're in alongside Aston Villa and all that. They're perhaps on the lower end of that, but Brentford are certainly capable of beating any of those teams. I think on their day, any of the teams who are around us, be it Brentford, Aston Villa, you can include some other teams in there as well, are capable of absolutely just wiping the floor with another one out of nowhere. But that's because everyone's so good. Like, you look at our team, like, we're missing I would argue, our two most important players today. Maybe outside of Antonio, I would argue we're missing our two most important players. And still, you look at that team, one of them gets replaced by Kudus. Like, it's still an incredibly good team. The other one gets replaced by either Souček or Ward-Prowse or whoever you want to move around in that thing. That's still a really, really good team. So we're 100% capable of doing it. Don't get me wrong. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying, people, for complete and utter defeatism. It's more just realism. But, like, that's not exactly a bad lineup for us.
No, I don't. Would you like to answer what touch potential has said?
It's fine. Both in terms of that's my response and also the answer to the question. Very happy. It's fine. It's poor. Underneath, very unhappy.
Indeed.
The problem is you only get 4. I would love to have more. I would love YouTube to give us the facilities to have more, but you only get 4 choices, and so you need amazing, not like it's fine, it's poor. So it's like, it's brackets, but that's part of the beauty of it. But if you have a 10-point scale, it's a bit too easy. Sometimes you want to have when you do tier lists. With Geo, for example, you and Geo love a tier list, for example, every now and then. You want to get sometimes you want to have like ones that don't quite make sense because you want to have a little talk about it and a little think about it. It's necessary sometimes. It's necessary. Although again, if I was allowed to have more than 4, then trust me, there would be more than 4 in there.
Yes, yeah. Look, I just popped it up there. It was like a it was critiquing it. I like it.
I don't mind a critique. I don't mind a bit of criticism every now and then.
I'm loving these Gonz names, by the way. Well, there's one of them I'm not so keen on, but in the main, excellent. It's giving me food for thought. That's for sure. They're funny. Some funny people in the chat. It's excellent. My kind of people. Anyway, I'm off. I think got to try and heat up an Aldi. No, I don't mean a car. And I mean the shop. An Aldi steak and kidney pie in the air. But so let me tell you the technique.
Right? I was going to say, you said try and heat up. Surely it's quite a simple process.
No. Because you can't just do it in the microwave because it goes like limp. You know what I mean? It goes soggy and limp. Yeah. So it's a trick. It's a trick if you don't know. Okay. Yeah. Well, you might want to get a pen and paper at home.
Got my pencil.
Okay. So you got the pie. It's just one of them pies like that. It's like £1.49 for this pie, right? Steak and kidney pie from Aldi. Microwave, 1.5 minutes. Bing. Air fryer, 2 minutes. Spot on. Crispy, cooked, nice. It'll even burn your tongue. It'll be like McDonald's apple pie. Lovely.
I love that you're using 2 different methods.
Two appliances.
So is there not? Could you not just bang it in the oven? Is that not an oven maneuver?
Well, no, not now. It kicks off in 14 minutes. Oh.
I guess.
If I'm really quick, because that air fryer is like a miracle. It's like a miracle. I said there was no footballing gods. There are the culinary gods, and they gave us the Lord giveth the air fryer. That's what happened on there, right? I reckon I can get some curly fries in there, and they'll be done in 11 minutes. I'll be sat down in front of the match, cheering on, and just in time for Mohamed Kudus to score after 2 minutes.
I had 2 pieces of peanut butter and toast before I appeared on your screen. And I'll tell you what, the first minute of this was really difficult to talk. So it sounds
a
lot.
Was it the dry? It makes it pasty, doesn't it? The
I was just like, it was a problem. It was a problem.
Have you spooned it? Have you Could you think you? Sorry, this is more important than me eating. Do you think it's possible to eat a jar of peanut butter without a drink, just spooning it? Because you just suck all the moisture out the world, wouldn't it?
Is it possible? Probably, but it depends how big the jar is.
That's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. What Dean said.
Depends how big the jar is, because we get the big jars. Peanut butter is very popular in this household, so we get the big boy jars. But the problem with the big boy jars is when you get to the bottom, it's real. The dregs of the peanut butter at the end of that are really dry.
Well, it's like an oil, isn't it? I think it's oil.
Yeah, it disappears. Yeah. It basically disappears by the time you get to the bottom because it's such a big jar. So if you're having a smaller jar, I reckon so. But then they always used to say, one of the things I heard is you can't eat a Weetabix without, or a Weetabix, however you want to say it. Biscuit's probably the word. I know they say biscuit, but I'm not interested in marketing. A Weetabix without any liquids. I tried that, and I could do that.
Right. Okay.
But only one. I don't know if
I wouldn't mind trying. I don't really fancy the peanut butter thing. I don't fancy trying, quite frankly, because it seems. I don't even know why I thought of it, but it seems like a wrong thing to do.
Well, from a health standpoint, it's probably an awful thing to do. I mean, there's that side of it as well.
I think it would have to. It was a good question, Maverick, and I think it would have to be the crunchy. I just don't think you want the extreme challenge to do it. Because the whole point is, can you do it without? I don't even. People of a certain age will remember. Can you put a Rowntree's fruit pastel in your mouth without chewing it? It was easy. Everyone could, right? But it was a good marketing thing. Can you? I just piss off, mate. Don't have to worry about it. Don't have to watch, do you? Right? Can you do it without having a drink? Right? Can you without having a drink? That's the trick.
It's like they say, can you eat a jam donut without licking your lips?
I think you can.
I think you can, but instantaneously it becomes because in my head I did that one as well, and in my head I was like, oh, easy, no stress, so just do it, and then instantaneously you go, oh my god, it's the only thing I want to do in my life.
There's some interesting. There are some really interesting suggestions here. Anyway, listen. Speaking of which,
I don't think that was a suggestion.
I boasted about. I'm not sure I've got time now. Even with my special technique. Enjoy the game, boys and girls. I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Charlie, who's going to take you through the game. Charlie, thank you very much, mate. I'll be back at full time, and enjoy the game. 2-1 win for me, and thank you very much for joining me. Been excellent company in the chat, by the way. Excellent company today, and someone's just made an absolutely ghastly culinary suggestion. Charlie, I am out of here, mate.
All right, speak to you later. Bye. Yes, there's Gonzo, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you all for joining. I hope you're all well. Hope you're good. Let's start as we always do. Scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least confident possible, 10 being the most confident possible. How confident are you of a West Ham result today? I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by this one. I don't know because I genuinely don't. Like I say, I genuinely don't know. I suspect we're going to lose, like I said, but it's the performance side of it, and that's why I say we're happy with a result as opposed to winning and losing and all that sort of other stuff. Just get a bit of wiggle room in there. I don't know. I feel like we're going to put a performance in. I feel like we've shown that we can do that now. We're turning a corner performance-wise, and so we'll see how that ends up playing out. I don't know. But in case you don't know the lineups, let's run through them, shall we? Let's have a deeper gander very quickly. West Ham lineup as such. Areola starts in goal with Soufal, Mavropanos, Aged and Emerson at the back. James Ward-Prowse and Thomas Souček are in a double pivot with Mohamed Kudus, Ben Rama and Bowen ahead just behind Mikel Antonio. Like I say, I think outside, if you were to take out the two, we cannot, it's very important, no. It's mostly my fault. I did, yeah. If you go back in the early ones, we managed to avoid it almost solidly, and then there was a deadline day stream, the first deadline day stream we ever did, and I'm eating a Subway during it. So I feel like, I put us on a wrong footing because that was very early days. Like I say, if you took out the two of the most important players, I should say, out of this lineup, that's probably the 11 most people would pick, and I think in that sense, it's probably the right thing to do. Part of me is still a little bit concerned. Because we just don't have... Alvarez is the big one. From an attacking standpoint, we can still do things without Paqueta, but realistically, I do feel like that lessens us a bit. But without Alvarez, defensively, I think we're in for a rough time. But it is the strongest 11 outside of that. I can't really complain too much around that apart from that. And I'm interested to see the Mavropanos-Aguerd combination again. I liked it last time. I'm excited to see it again. The bench being Fabianski, Ogbonna, Kera, Cresswell, Johnson, Fornals, Cornet, Danny Ings, and Mubama. Like we said last time, there was a lot of talk about Mubama being left off the bench because of the news about the contract stuff in the week. When we have everyone fit, he just doesn't make the bench in the same way Johnson doesn't make the bench. 2 players are missing today. They've both gone back in. I don't think it's that much of a thing, you know what I mean? Cameron's saying 7. 625 says Gatesy. Subscribe to the West Ham Massive if you haven't already. Hope you are, Gatesy. 5, 3, 6, 7. Good to see you, Dean. Hope you're well. Want you to say hello to Oliver as well, more importantly. Dean, get out of the way. Hello to Oliver. Hope you're well, bro. Hope things are going good for you. Hope you're excited for the match this afternoon. 3 o'clock kickoffs. Stress for my life, but still. INX is at 6. Ruben's at a solid 7.5. 6.9. Nice. 8, 6, 3, 3, 4, 7, 7, 8, 5, 7, 3. There's a big range, isn't there? Chuck, good to see you. At a solid 4, 6. Jack, mate, good to see you, sir. At a 3. 5. There's a bigger range than I would expect. So even just that little microcosm there. Jack on a 3, Robert on a 5, Wolfius on a 7. It's a range instantaneously. And there's a bigger range. There's more higher ones than I would suspect, but the range is quite large. Because usually you get outliers, right? Usually you'd look at you say, well, maybe the 5s are an outliers, maybe the 4s are an outliers, and then maybe you'd say, for example, HDU coming through with a solid 3.1416 come through with pi, which Gonzo would be very excited about. Dan, for example, are not confident 69. I would, like I say, as much as I'm all about performance, give me a 1-0 smash and grab. I'm fine with that. But I don't think there's outliers. They tend to be pretty equally spread today, which is intriguing. When you're saying was a 5, but confidence has been bolstered by a cheese toasty. Big with Peronese. Huge 7. Love that. Love the boost of the food. I'm 100% here for it. 5. Who would take a draw right now is a great question. Personally, yes. But again, performance. But 7, I think it's going to be a banter game. 6 for a positive result. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. If we had Frank, we'd be so good. Yeah, probably. Thomas Frank is a very good manager. I'm a big fan of Thomas Frank. Solid 5 is going to be it's going to be end to end. I do think. Yeah, I strongly agree with you there, Logan. Also, hope you're well, bro. But I strongly agree with you there. It is, I will say, as I get up the other team, it is, of course, a Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff, which means I've had to make my way all the way to North Idaho, the holiday home, with the boy, you can't see him right now, but he's there, to actually watch the game. However, if you would like to do it, there are definitely ways you can do it, regardless of where you are. Do take a look at the link in the description below. There's a bit there called join our Discord. Lovely Hammers Chat West Ham community. But fans, of course, of all clubs are welcome. But more importantly, on the left-hand side, there's a bit called Stream Links, in which you will find what you're looking for. The Brentford lineup are as such: Flecken, Ayer, Collins and Pinnock in defence, with Jano, Norgard, Onyeka, Jensen in midfield. They have Mbemo, Wissa and Neil Mopai up front. Interested to see how that ends up working out. Usually against us, they go for the sort of 3-5-2. It feels like that's more of a 3-4-3. We'll see how it ends up playing out in person. I haven't seen Brentford this season, so I can't really speak to what they're doing this season. So maybe they are just going 3-4-3 usually, but against us, we tend to see the other system. Their bench: Strakowska, Zanka, Godos, me, Roslev, Yarmolik, Then we get to the ones I can't pronounce. Not that any of those were correct, to be fair. Olekibi, Burley, and Adiunkun is how I'm going to go with. But those are the Brentford lineup. Condensed show, because of course me and Gonzo spoke about food for ages, which I'm not complaining about. I'm totally fine with that. But that does mean that now it's time for final score predictions. No more flipping, no more flopping, no more sitting on the fence. We've spoken about both teams. We've spoken about the subs. We've spoken about peanut butter. We've spoken about lots of different aspects on this show already, ladies and gentlemen. But now's the final time, with just under 3 minutes left till kickoff, to lock in those score predictions. Drop them in chat, final ones, and we will lock them in. Still to this day, not entirely. It's like a gambling machine. Corners for win is a 9, says Chris Carson. Stu, good to see you. Another channel you should definitely subscribe to. Shout out, Stu. Hope you are, bro. This is a game where West Ham ends Brentford's forward. Listen, the vibes, hopefully. I ate chunky. I disagree, Gonzo. I think you would have to have smooth if you were going to do the whole thing. I think it would have to be smooth. I can't see a situation in which you could do chunky and you survive. Imagine getting the top bit of your mouth. It'd just be cut up. It'd just be destroyed. Just be utterly ruined. Flipping out, the chat's jumping about. Okay, we'll just have to work away from the bottom. We'll just have to scroll up from the bottom. We'll find the score predictions and we'll go from there. Flipping annoying. Like I say, there are links in the description below. There are a series of course a timer as well in the top corner here, which shows just how far behind you I will be, because I will be a little bit behind you just due to, the way these things work, travel time to Idaho and the internet and all of those things. That are definitely the reason why. So I will be ever so slightly behind you, but that timer will be accurate to where I am at least. You'll have to give me a little bit of time because at the beginning of this game, I suspect it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. And, if my fellow North Idaho resident sends me like, I won't complain if they ever work on it, because I feel like it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. However, once we're there, you'll be able to see just how far behind you I am. Clicking on that. There we go. Let's have a look at some of these score predictions. 50-50, like Lamar. Shout out to Lamar. A rare Lamar shout in the chat, and I'm here for it. I'm going for a 2-0 win, says Kenneth. Stu is going for a 2-1 West Ham win. This is the battle for 9th, by the way, so tension is high. 2-1, 2-2, 2-2, 1-1, 3-2, 4-3. Big Nick. Love that from you. Fully respect it. 2-1, 2-2, 0-0, 3-1 West Ham win. 3-1 West Ham win, says Rob Singleton. 3-1 win. Come on. Big. Love that. 1-0, a confident 4-2 to West Ham. 2-2, Sue's coming through with a 3-0. James Ward-Prowse free kick would be a beautiful situation. DDCH, best YouTube name. Take a draw all day. Would like a win 2-1. I can respect that. I fancy a win by the odd goal. 2-1. Come up the Irons. 3-0, 3-0, 3-1. See, it's changeable, but again, there's a lot of confidence in there. I feel like I'm seeing the gif in my head. We're getting 2. So Thomas is saying 1-1 misses. It will be 2-1 to Brentford. See, I feel like I agree. Pardon me. I feel like I agree with your other half. I feel like that's where I'm at. As I try to load up the North Idaho TV network, I feel like that's where I'm at as well. I feel like 2-1 Brentford is where I'm going to say. I feel like we will score, but I feel like they also will score, and I feel like they have the capacity to score more than we do, given the defensive midfield situation that I've been speaking about. However, having said that, it would not surprise me either way, similar to the Aston Villa game, if out of nowhere there was just a load of goals from either side. I think that would be very possible. And I wouldn't necessarily surprise me in the least. Having said all that, I do think it will be 2-1. That's where I'm at. I do think it will be 2-1 to Brentford. However, as long as I am happy, Thank you, Mr. Marsh. Thank you, Mr. Marsh. Oh my god, yes, yes. This works. I should say, just stop celebrating. Oh yes. Thank you. Can everyone say thank you, Dean? As long as I'm happy with the performance, then I'm good with it. Then I'm good with it. That's all I want from this game. I just want performance. If we can put in a good show, if we can put in a good effort, without some of our best players, then that's only beneficial for us for the future. That's only beneficial for us in the future. And we're underway at the Brentford Community Stadium, the G-Tech Community Stadium, I believe it's called now. Come on, you Irons. Deploy the boys. It's time to run two things. Brentford versus West Ham. The Premier League have upgraded their little graphic at the bottom. It's very exciting. Let's think about doing the same. Can't be arsed. Amy, thank you for asking. There's still whatever's in there. I think it's a trapped nerve. It's still painful, but it's just not as bad as it once was. I can sort of deal with it. Oh my god, Jesus. The Brentford goalkeeper slipped over there and Antonio was on top of him. Keep pressing. Oh, they've played their way out of that really well, Brentford. But flipping heck. That was close. But it's getting there, thankfully. The cough is still very bad, but still. Late short from Mbemo, looking for Visa. Again, clears it away nicely into the path of Antonio, who's there instantaneously. Released that ball a bit quicker, Mikhail. He's won a free kick, but Benrahma was on running, and we had a Bowen on the far side. Maybe could have released that a little bit quicker. But yeah, Flecken, almost with a huge mistake early doors, collects the ball, takes a heavy first touch. Mikel Antonio charging him down, slips over and manages to flick it into the path of his centre-back. Is that true? I did not know that. I remembered he was doing well. I remembered there was a sort of bit of momentum going there, but I didn't know he was at the record for it already. That'd be amazing if that happened. That'd be very amazing if that happened. Bit like when Saka was, it's not Saka, sorry, Diafra Sakho was scoring for fun when he first turned up. But obviously Bowen's been here for years. James will press to take the free kick that Mikel Antonio won on the left-hand touchline from about the halfway line. Whips it in. Just over the top of Souček there over everyone. Pinnock's header away. Lands at the feet of Mohamed Kudus. Oh, does well there. Takes on his man. Is it Henry? Is Henry the one who's playing there today? I think it was Henry. I don't know who it is actually. But took him on and then tried to put it in with his weak foot. Not bad. I love a low driven cross like that. And we're going to get a corner. No, we're going to get a throw in, sorry. Soufal with a big long throw though. That's why everyone's in there. Header on from Souček. Just beaten in the air there. Couldn't quite manage it. And Bemo under pressure. Good work so far from West Ham. Soufal wins the front. Kudus trips over the ball himself. Goal kick. Tripped over the ball there, Kudus, unfortunately. Just got caught underneath him. Jealous. What a man. I was thinking about Mark Noble earlier today and just how much I love him. What a guy. You know? What an absolute legend. Ugh. Miss him every day. He's joined with Henry and a few others. Imagine if Bowen got more away goals consecutively than Thierry Henry. Like, in my mind, one of the best ever. And then Jared Bowen's there, like, pow, have some of that. I'd be here for it. I mean, obviously I would be here for it, but still. Yeah, I'm not sure. I heard rumours during the week that he was injured, but I don't really know anything about it, and I don't move in the circles where I know things most of the time that people don't know, right? So, Kudus, nice turn. Wins free kick on the halfway line. So, I don't know, but maybe injured? I don't know. Maybe Gonzo said something during the build-up. I missed it. I didn't know. You can only eat one food for the rest of your life, but it would give you all the nutritional value you needed. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we're talking pure flavour at this point. What wouldn't you... Do you get variations on this? Do you know what I mean? Like, so for example, if I said pizza, could I have, like, pepperoni one day, margarita, I don't know, meat feast. Do you know what I mean? Do you get different? Do I get different variations, or does it have to be like a singular variant? Because what would you not get bored by? Also, the fact that you've done many things with him is incredibly jealous inducing. Jealous inducing. See, I don't know. He might be, he might not be. Emerson's down at the moment after a sort of clash of feet with Mbemo just outside the area. It feels like it does. Variations allowed. It feels like it has to be something like a pizza or a sandwich, because it just has like you have so many different things you could do with it. So many different things you could do with it. I'm trying to think. Trying to think. Goat onion rings, garlic bread. I do love garlic bread. I don't know if my stomach could handle that. My poor, already damaged stomach. Just garlic bread. Although my heart wants that. Trying to think if there's any better. Brentford with a free kick just outside the box on the right hand side. Whipped in. Straight into the hands of Areola, thankfully. The Mbemo one looked like a flick, maybe would have been dangerous there, but yeah. No, I don't know. I'm trying to full English. Huge mark. It's up full English 3 times a day. Sounds like something I would do. Or Bowen almost threw. Little clip there goes down. Close though. Close from that counter attack. Tell you what, there's little signs that we could be doing something here. Not looking for loopholes, more just looking for the full picture. Do you know what I mean? Because if it was like a singular variant, then it doesn't really matter about the boredom aspects. Because I feel like if you only had say you weren't allowed variations, and I could only eat, I don't know, one type of pizza, for example, then you would get bored of it. But then you'd get bored of anything if there was only one variant. So variations, then you've got to be picking something like that. It probably would be pizza. It probably would be. I just love pizza. Emma. So good they named her twice. There are definitely ways you can watch the game. When I find the button, there you go. There are definitely ways you can watch the game. If you scroll down to the link in the description below, there's a bit there called Join Our Discord. Completely free, lovely Hammers Chat, West Ham community. Fans of all clubs are welcome, of course, but more importantly, on the left-hand side, there's a bit there called Stream Links, in which you'll probably find what you're looking for. See, it's like stuff like this, right? Judas, my trustworthy friend, says, roast pork dinner with all the trimmings. See, if it was only just that, you'd probably get bored of it, although that is a beautiful option. Huge, Gads. Huge. Very jealous. Curries is not a bad option. Because, again, you're getting a lot of different variations in flavour. And if you're having other bits, if you're allowed other bits with it, I'd probably say pizza. There are bells. There are bells available. I will say that. If we need them, they are there. I think there's like one at least, maybe 2. It's also oranges, but yeah. Pizza for me, Clavia. I think it's got to be pizza, right? It's got to be. Mbemo running at Aged, takes him on, can't beat him as well. Aged does well there just to run him out and wins a goal kick. Lovely stuff from Aged there. Mbemo just stepped up to him, taking him on, tried to take him one way, tried to take him the other. Aged just stood him up, showed him the line. It's really well done there from Aged. Someone who's received bits of criticism this season for his defensive side of his game. Not unduly. I'm not going to lie, I think it was a corner, but still. Does really well now. Areola to take a goal kick. It's interesting. Looking at Brentford's formation, I do think they are playing in a more flat 5 with 2 up front. But the 2 being Wissa and Mopé. It does look like they are playing a flat 5 because Mbemo is deeper and wider than I would expect him to be. Which is interesting. Passing it around at the back, currently Brentford. I really liked him. What was his name? I always thought he was hard done by. I can see him. Thomas. I don't remember his name. I always thought he was hard done by. I always thought he should I always thought he should play more. Oh, nice diag cut out well there though by Emerson. I love a diag. That's what I realised doing these. Is it's rare I see a crossfield, a big diag and go, nah, it wasn't good. Almost every single time I go, oh. Brentford trying to create something, passing the ball around just outside the area. Thankfully, the crossing wasn't great. Again, just punting it away. They re-get on the ball though, Brentford once more. Down the right, and Bemo there again, looking to take on again. Chips it across the box, flipping it. It's come down, it's dropped in the 6-yard box. Blocked off the line by someone. I say off the line, it was a little bit before that. Thankfully, the crossing was a bit deep. Should have left it. Shot, deflects. 1-0, Brentford. Neil Mopai with the goal. Everyone said it before the game. Everyone mentioned Neil Mopai. There he is with the goal. 10 minutes in, it's Brentford 1, West Ham United 0. They were lining up there. It was all sort of panic stations. There was a moment where the ball got chipped back across the box and it was headed away, and instead it should have been left to go out for a corner. There just wasn't there wasn't either the confidence or the communication that it was going to drop out. It looked like it was, and instead the ball gets headed away, continues to be in play. So annoying. Yeah, it should have been left there, but it gets headed away. There were several people going for it, so the communication just wasn't there. And then the ball comes back across, hit from, I'm not sure who it was. I think it's Onyeka. And then Mopé's there. Onyeka hits it, and Mopé's there just to... It would have been covered by Areola just to nod it in. 1-0 Brentford. That's really, really annoying. Mopé just striker's instincts, right position, right time. First touch inside the 6-yard box, headers it beyond Areola. And I don't want to make this an Areola thing, right? I really don't want to make this an Areola thing, because I really like Areola and I've really liked his performances this season. But it's been said on this channel before. It will be said on this channel again. There's something about communication when Areola is in goal that just doesn't exist in the same way it does when Fabianski's there. Now I'm not necessarily saying that was Areola's fault by any stretch of the imagination. But it is very frustrating when it is just... It is just very frustrating there where the ball gets chipped back across the box and it is going out and it gets headed back away and there's two people going for it. Like Souček's the one who ends up getting it, but Agaire's also there. And there just isn't the awareness of going, we can just let this bop out and it'll be a goal kick to us. It's very frustrating. Brentford 1-0 up. 10 minutes into the game. Again, I don't want to make it an Areola thing because I don't think it was... I certainly don't want to put it all on him. But I think it is an annoying trend, let's say, for now. It is an annoying trend for now. Brentford trying to work their way forward. Sifal with an interesting pass, but thankfully we come away with the ball. After the initial period, that initial burst of 5 minutes when we were really on top, it felt like Brentford were working their way into the game and getting all of the chances or getting all the opportunities. Played into Antonio, who looks to try and cross it towards the back post. Bowen was there, Kudus was there, but Brentford headed it away for a throw. It seemed to have disappeared. Can we step back up now? We've shown that we're capable of doing it already in this game. It's going to be another long throw. I don't think... Have our long throws ever worked? So foul with a huge throw in towards the box. Headed on from Mavropanos straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. Flecken. Thrown out by Flecken. Kudus getting on a press and nice. Early. Bro, I just... GW. I mean this in a polite way. Also, for anyone complaining about food talk, I understand why if you wouldn't want to talk about food, that's fine. What I would say is there are about 15,000 other watch-alongs on YouTube from West Ham perspective. You are more than welcome to go watch them. If be honest with you, I'd go. I don't mind. I genuinely don't mind. Don't endure something you're not enjoying. Do you know what I mean? Go and enjoy yourself. It's fine. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. I don't see why I'm sitting on the fence. I don't necessarily think it's not sitting on the fence. I don't blame Moyes because we conceded against Brentford. When I already said without our best players, especially Alvarez, defensively, we don't seem like it's a thing. Not everything has to. You can blame Moyes for a lot of stuff, and this is not a defensive Moyes. It's just me saying it doesn't necessarily have to be the second they score. Let's have a go at David Moyes. There's 1,000 things you can complain about Moyes about. The fact that there was no organisation, what felt like no communication in that specific instance, doesn't necessarily have to be one of them. There's a million things that you can complain about David Moyes about. You know what I mean? A million things. Also, I'm not sitting on the fence. I'm not sitting on the fence. I think Moyes is. I would have Moyes as the manager now currently as well. So I'm not really sitting on the fence. Played out wide to the right hand side to Soufal. Big hoof up the pitch, looking for Jared Bowen. Can't quite manage to get there. Brentford click it down. Yeah, it just feels like it feels like that's something that doesn't exist when Fabianski's in a team. Again, I don't want to put it into a situation where I'm just dumping it on Areola. I don't want to put it into that, but I do feel like it just is a consistent thing whenever Areola's in goal. There does just seem to be a little lack of communication, which is bizarre, because even when obviously Mavropanos is in the team today, he was on the ball currently as we pass it around to the back, big fire diag again. There wasn't accurate, but I just love it. Even in those situations where it was Zuma at the back and it's again Zuma and Areola, they all speak French, so it's not even like they speak different languages. I love the idea of me being bottom. Like here's the thing. I'm not touchy. It might come across as touchy. I'm being as sincere as I possibly can be, where I say, I think it's completely fine if you don't want to watch the watch along if I'm talking about that, because there are so many others. I don't understand why people would watch it if they don't want to. Bowen, close, just wide. I don't understand. It's fine. It's genuinely calm. It's genuinely calm with me. I don't mind. It's not a problem with me. You know? It might sound touchy and reactionary. I appreciate that. And I know like it's one of those things where it's difficult to get across. Because like the second you say anything about it, it sounds like you're going, ooh, Charlie, calm down. But I'm being as honest as possible when I say it. It's not really a touchiness. Ben Rama wins a free throw-in on the left-hand side. I do like, again, as much as I can criticize the communication, I do like what Areola brings, especially when you have a defensive line that includes Mavropanos and Aged. We're so much more comfortable on the ball than we were last season. Like that passing ability that we have short that we just did not have previously is so nice. And especially Aged, the long passing of Aged is like it's just insane. Like the long ball he did towards Kudus in the last game, my lord, was incredible. You know, laid short into Antonio, flicks it across. Kudus on a volley. Oh, Mohamed Kudus! What a finish! Ball got played in from Mikel Antonio behind Kudus. To be honest with you, I was like, oh, it's a bit of a poor cross there. It comes from behind him, and he hits it on the volley backwards. Almost an overhead kick, but not really, sort of on the side, just with his strong foot, swings at it, and it swerves into the net. Mohamed Kudus gets us back into the game. Mohamed Kudus with the left foot did it, mate. What a finish! Antonio picks it up off the throw-in, controls it, and then just hooks it into the box again behind Kudus, and that is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. Oh, every time I look at it, it gets better. Every time I see the replay, it gets better. That is a thing of beauty. Mohamed Kudus. Take a bow, son. Flipping heck. Brentford 1, West Ham United 1. And we will be taking that all day. Like I say, it felt like a poor cross from Mikel Antonio. It was floated in and it sort of went behind him. So to do something like that, ridiculous. Ridiculous. So good. So good. That's mad. That's mad. The last game where he did the, obviously, like I said, at the time, I was admitting that I don't think he meant the first touch, but listen, straight after that, he meant it solidly, right? But he's the goal he scored in the last game, and now this again. He has this ability, Kudus, to just pull it. He has that little magical something, that mercurial ability to just, when all seems lost, he'll just do something insane. It's something we don't have often, especially under David Moyes, who prefers much more pragmatic, dependable, reliable, sort of like, I know exactly what you're going to give every sort of game type players. Kudus is very much the opposite of that, where I felt like in the last game, I felt like it was long periods where I just wasn't super vibing his performance, and then he just does something magical. Not to say I haven't been vibing his performance yet today. I don't think he's had too much of an opportunity, but then just bang. He's great. He's so good. I love him. JJ, thank you very much for the 199. It helps out the channel massively, not just myself, it helps out Jim Gonzo as well. A huge amount when Kudus scores scream like you mean it. I mean, he pulls it out of the bag consistently. Is there any doubt, Alex? That's what I'm saying. Is there? Good to see you, by the way. Also, I saw your message about half an hour ago. I am planning on watching the 60th anniversary later on. I'm very excited. Ball got played in there. Mavropanos collides with the Brentford goalkeeper. Foul, and he stays down. Hopefully he's all right. The big collision in the air between the two of them. Flecken has stayed down. I wouldn't want to collide with Mavropanos. That man is huge. That man is just built. You know what I mean? There are very few people who I think are built on the football field like he is. All chest. Just massive. It reminds me a little bit, right? The Antonio cross of the Andy Carroll overhead kick. It reminds me a little bit of that. How there's that moment, the ball gets played in, and I'll be honest, with his weak foot, and he sort of just hooks it into that area. It's a very similar area to Kudus in a way. And it is behind him, and I'm just like, it's not the cross, is it? And then the finish, just like, pow. Looking at the collision again. Yeah, you wouldn't want to. Solid work. You would not want to see him. Yeah, it's Judas. I'll have it rolling across the bottom of the screen. There you go. There on the bench. There is the bench. It's maybe the English there, Charlie. Yeah, it's not even a case of settling. I think for me, what I said on the pre-show, of this idea of like not having to rely on him instantaneously is quite nice. Because, you know, as much as we all want as much as we do want as many of our best players on the field at once, having someone like that on the bench or being able to rotate with is such a pleasure and such a luxury that we haven't had previously. And so for me, like, I didn't mind him not starting. It wasn't a case of settling for me. It was just a case of picking and choosing when you actually want to play him. And his performances right now are making him impossible not to pick. And I am incredibly okay with that. We're doing well. I tell you what, we're doing well right now. We've stepped up. Since the goal, we have stepped up. Since their goal, it's become a lot more us. Mikel Antonio charging that one down, dispossessing the ball, and Ben Rama comes away with it, wins a free kick. We are looking a lot better now. How good was Kudus' goal out of 10? It's got to be at least a 9. It's got to be at least a sweet corn on pizza out of 10, Stevie B. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be. It's got to be at least a 9 for me. It's not quite a 10 out of 10, but it's bloody close. Goal of the month contender, easily. The resulting free kick doesn't go very well, but we still maintain possession of the ball, even if it is on the halfway line. Oh, good first touch from Ben Rama. It was a bit heavy, but he does nicely. Emerson takes on his man. Love the way I said that, then the commentator said it. That was fun. That was fun. Oh, Dave, I haven't watched it yet. I need to watch that triple threat because that was the big match that I was excited for from last night, but I haven't seen any of the wrestling from last night yet. I need to get on it. After this. We're gonna get a corner. James Ward-Prowse steps up. Will he put it in the exact same position he always does? From this side, that near post. I mean, Souček's moving into different positions he usually doesn't, so we'll see. But James Ward-Prowse is going to take it from our left-hand side. In swinging. Oof, just slightly outside of the 6-yard box. Was looking for Mavropanos. Doesn't quite get there. Kudus controls it. Crossing that wasn't quite the one. Thankfully, we maintained possession. Has he? Yes! Come on! You lot don't know, bruv. Jeffrey Schlupp is a legend. I don't care what anyone says. Jeffrey Schlupp is the guy. Flipping love that guy. Whipped in. What a ball. Kudus! Off the post. Bowen! Oh, it's in! Bowen! 2-1! Surely, is that offside? Onside? I can't tell. Jared Bowen gets the goal. That was a ferocious whip into the box. And Kudus running onto it. It just sort of hits him. He almost chests it. It smacks off the post. Like the speed at which it happened ricocheted off the post into the path of Jared Bowen, who just slots it in unattended. Whipped in from Ben Rama. He might be onside, actually. I'm looking at that. I think he is. I think he's behind Kudus when he takes the touch. Kudus' initial shot, if you even want to call it that, hits off his thigh, slams off the post, and then he jumps out of the way. Bowen. It's not offside. I'll say that much. It's definitely not offside. Jared Bowen was behind the player when it happened. 2-1. Flipping heck. My God, what a turnaround. What an absolute turnaround. They're doing VAR. I've been bold enough to put the score on screen. Usually I wait till post VAR, but I've been bold enough to do it. They're saying handball. Possible handball is what it's saying on screen. If I have to change the scoreline, I'm going to feel so frustrated. I mean, I don't see where there was a handball. Was it Kudus? No, it was Jared Bowen who there's. No, it hits his chest. It hits him here. He sort of leans down. It leans down and it hits him here. The argument could be that it hits his. The argument, I guess, is that they're checking as to whether it hits his bicep. But he leans down and controls it, sort of like here-ish. But his arm is in the vicinity. I don't think that's a handball, personally. Nah, that's chest. I see why they think it could be, especially from one angle. It looks like it kind of does. I think that's all chest, personally. I think that's all chest. I'm confident enough. I'm going to say it's all chest. I'm saying that's all chest. Easy, light work. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to change the score. I'm saying it's fine. If this counts, what a turnaround, by the way. What a turnaround. Since their goal, we have been so good. I think we're going to get the full result now. VAR seems to be... They're showing the celebration now, so... Come on! Let's go, Jared. Yes! West Ham United 2, Brentford 1. I'm very glad I don't have to change the score again, because to be honest with you, I could not be asked. Let's absolutely go. Let's absolutely go. Oh, my God. My God. We have been really good. Since their goal, we have stepped up massively. And we've put them under enormous amounts of pressure. It's getting really good. I know I'm probably slightly behind. I'm probably slightly behind. It's just the way it goes. For me, like, finding the best stream... For me, finding the best way to keep up with the game is the legal way, I'll say that. It has to be the most consistent one. I don't really care how far behind it is when I'm watching it because I have to be consistent. If I spend half the stream, like, people find the food talk annoying, right? Imagine if it was just me trying to find what's going on most of the time. Do you know what I mean? So it has to be consistent. And thankfully, the boy Marsh came through. ISO Mix 31, is it? Was it 31? I think it was 31. Out this week. Go check it out. Dean R. Marsh on X, formerly Twitter. Provided it, but yeah, it's one of those things. Oh, that's bad. Christ for that. Edson just almost managed to get in. That was a scary moment. That was a scary moment. Ball gets played through from Mopai, and Mavropanos tries just a little bit. Again, I feel like communication there could be better. I don't know. Mavropanos tries to turn around and just clear it. Edson on running onto it almost gets in there, but thankfully it runs out. We'll take it. See, I can't say. I will say this. I have never considered it. My problem is I watch it on the screen. I could. What's the thing is, I've watched it on my computer, so I have two screens, so I'll just do it that way. I could set it up on a TV, but I'd be sat at such an awkward angle because my computer's like nestled in the corner. But nestled. Like there's a nook in the room, and I am in the nook, just so it's as out of the way as humanly possible. And Jesus Christ, enough of my crap takes up in this living room as it is. Don't need more, but maybe it is something I've considered. Gonzo has also told me how they aren't the best thing ever, is what I would say. Who's for a conga? I'll get involved in a conga. I just get involved in a conga. Why not? Do. Come on and do the conga, etc., etc. I don't know the rest of the words. Yeah, we've really stepped up today. Our pressing hasn't subsided in such a massive manner. I mean, it did initially, like I said, when they scored, there was a solid little 5-minute period there where we sort of had completely stepped off the pace, and we were just sort of stepping back, which was a pain in the backside. But since that point, since they scored, we've been back on it 100%, which is really good to see. And it feels like for once that we've got the better of Thomas Frank's side as opposed to the other way around. It'd be interesting to see what Frank does, whether he feels like he could change up the formation or the personnel within it or what to try and get more success. And they are having success still. It's not like that's completely dissipated. The Jensen moment just a second ago, for example, is a moment there where they get numbers forward in interesting positions to where it can become a problem, especially with us where we do commit our fullbacks and neither of them get back with particularly incredible pace. Playing like a flat five can help with that because their players are just so wide and on the touchline. But I don't know. I'm really enjoying how we're doing today. Like I said, all I cared about is the performance. Listen, if we get the performance that we're getting right now for the rest of the game, one, I'm happy. If we get the result we've got right now, I'll be ecstatic. I do tend to be significantly calmer than most people. I will say that. It's the one thing. That's the one thing I do have on most people. Blessing and a curse. Or head away from going. Go on, Benny. Can't quite get there ahead of, I think it's Onyeka, but he does well there. I like Onyeka a lot. I will say that. It's one of those players I'd heard good things about before he joined Brentford, and most times I've watched him, I've been like, yeah, he's quite good, isn't he? Did he? I genuinely don't know. It's probably something I should know. Zaki, good to see you. Get involved. We're winning. What a time to be alive. It will. I was enjoying on Two Spanners this week on the Patreon. Not Two Spanners, sorry, on Hamalytics this week on the Patreon, where we were doing questions from the last 3 games, so Arsenal, Olympiacos, and Everton. And that we had like loads of questions about how terrible we are after half time. But it just happened to be that we did the Arsenal game by accident and we were incredible after half time. A little bit of awkwardness there, but that's fine. Areola ends up booting it clear. If we could do the same thing that we did against Arsenal here, not even scoring, just coming out with that sort of energy and fizz, it'd be beautiful, it'd be wonderful. It's not necessarily a two up front. We're playing the 4-2-3-1 that you would expect, right? So you've got James Ward-Prowse and Thomas Souček in the double pivot. The one thing we do have is that Jarrod Bowen is almost in the 10. So, like, I guess you could say you could make an argument for it being two up front to a certain extent. It's like a 4-2-2-2 if you want to word it that way. Jarrod Bowen is sort of in the 10 position, and he is getting licensed to really go forward, and it means that Mikel Antonio sort of drifts out wide as he's wont to do, because Mikel Antonio loves going out wide to the left hand side. We still have that person in the center. If anything, you could make the argument Mikel Antonio is playing as the 10. Really, it's an interesting one. It's really nice though. Jarrod Bowen's there's been a year and a bit where it's sort of always been spoken about how Moyes sees Jarrod Bowen potentially as another striker, which is very frustrating for me, because I don't think it's ever really worked properly until now. The last 2 games, I'm like, flipping it, all of a sudden it's began to work. Before then, he put in all the effort. It was nothing to do with that. It just, the outcome was never great. Free kick on the right-hand side for Brentford. Whip it in. Panos just nods it away. Flipping heck. Wissa goes for the spectacular, went for an overhead kick. Sufal complaining that might have been overhead height, which I feel like it was. But Wissa went for a Zlatan-esque overhead kick. And Mavropanos, thankfully, unfazed by a man's big toe flying at his face. No, says his chest. And it's going to be a corner. This left my mind once again. Insane that Jarrod Bowen has a better record, has beaten Thierry Henry in a record. Flipping heck, that was close. The corner got whipped in, and it was a little bit, I think it was Norgard maybe with the last touch. Yeah, as if he zoomed in on him. I think it was Norgard with the final touch. Whipped in from a Jan out, I believe, and then yeah, he tries to just sort of angle it towards, I don't know whether it was an on-running player or there was certainly someone approaching a back stick. Thankfully, it goes out. But the fact he is beaten Thierry Henry is insane to me. Thierry Henry, one of the very best. The very best. When I was growing up, Thierry Henry was just an absolute wizard of football, with a football. You know, that season where he got like a ridiculous amount of assists and goals in a single season, he's just insane. The fact that Jarrod Bowen's beaten him is, what a man. What a man. Kudus, nice control down. Has Sofal on the outside. Looks to try and whip it in, deflects upwards. Okay, pass from Kudus, a little bit lacking, but still. Are we really? We're really almost there. Something I haven't checked today at all. Oh my god, we are. We're only 6 off. Let's go. Let's absolutely go. 6 off 300, the usual goal. Playing house money. Brentford playing the ball around now. In our half, trying to find a way forward. We're sitting deep. We're sitting well. The structure's nice. Not giving them any space, really. Yeah, we are fully in our defensive bag right now. 4-4-2 is the shape. You've got Jarrod Bowen. I don't know if you could class it as Jarrod Bowen or Antonio, but sort of playing the Paqueta role when we were playing this position, playing this style before. Oh, potential. That felt like a foul from Mavropanos there. I can't lie. On Mopé, just outside the box. I'm surprised it never got pulled up. That felt like a foul to me. Although Brentford still maintain possession of the ball and carry on the right-hand side. We're up against the Kosh a little bit here. Whipped in with a weak foot from, with a strong foot even from Mbemo. And now Kudus has the ball on the right-hand side. I feel like, I'm not going to lie, I feel like that was potentially a foul, but still, we move. Yeah, it feels a lot like we have the sort of, because when we would sit in that shape previously, the sort of 4-4-2 defensive shape, the 4-4-1-1, when we were deep, it would be Paqueta and Antonio. Having Jarrod Bowen there is much better than Paqueta, in my opinion. Kudus on a right overlap for Sufal, can't quite get the cross into flex. That is going to be a foul for Brentford, fair enough. How do I word it? Because we sit deep in the 4-4-2, right? We're packed in, tight in that little shape. And the thing is with Paqueta is he'd be looking for someone else. And that's all great. Like, that's why I like him in a slightly deeper position, because he can find those passes. He can find that play that he's looking for. Whereas those front two, we want them to be able to get out quickly, in my opinion. And you're having Bowen and Antonio there, who are capable of picking up the ball and just sprinting forward with it, or just going gung-ho forward as someone plays the ball to them. It's much more useful to me. Much more useful. I really like the shape we've got going on today. I really like it. Different to what we usually do, and I'm here for it. But again, having Kudus gives us that ability to be that bit more flexible. Just having someone else on the right. Oh, Kudus does really well there. Nice interception with the chest. He's got Jarrod Bowen on the overlap. Hits him. Bowen in an awkward position. Pulls it back across. In! Oh! How is that not ended up in the net? Antonio and Benrahma, how has that not gone in? That should be 3. Kudus finds Bowen on the overlap, who pulls it back across goal with his weak foot into such a glorious position. And Antonio and Benrahma are arriving onto it at the back posts. One of you. We spoke about communication. One of you. Oh my God. They somehow managed to get in each other's way. Should have been 3. Should have been 3. That was so frustrating. Just communication, man. So annoying. When you're 2-1 up, you can like... When you're 2-1 up, you can sort of like... Yeah, he was fuming. He was fuming, and Antonio was just sat there dumbfounded at what had happened. When you're 2-1 up, you look at it and you go, "Oh, Christ's sake!" If we were losing, or if we weren't winning, that would be horrendous. And as Soham says, where is it? One of those ones where you think about it, you go, "Please don't have this come back to bite us. Please don't have this to come back to bite us." One of the worst throws you're ever going to see in your life from us, but that's fine. It's what we do. Straight into the hands of Brentford. Play the ball around, fit a bit of space for Mbemo wide on this right-hand side yet again. It's going to be a corner. Deflects off someone. Again, maybe. Having my hot chocolate. I need it because I feel sorry for myself. I'm here for illness today, so it's all about food and drink you would class as cozy. That's the vibe. That's the vibe. Brentford take the corner short, whipped in, headed away from Agard. Jarrod Bowen controls it out. Kudus now with the ball. Just waits for Soufal to just get a little bit further forward before playing it to him. Soufal, that was incredible. As he played the ball forward, you just hear him, "Ah!" That was great. I mean, it's great in the sense of, like, again, we're winning, so we can accept that. It's fun. It's easy being Manchester City, isn't it? It's real easy being Manchester City, isn't it? Bro, I don't even know. I don't even know. Yeah, this is the thing, right? So when people were talking about Moyes, for example, and say the guy who said stop sitting on the fence and all that, I've been calling Moyes a liar for years. I think Moyes just says what he needs to say in that moment, you know. And look, it is what it is. It's just the way football goes at this time. But yeah, it has to be up there. It has to be up there. It's such a bad miss. From scoring an absolute weldy to missing a chance like that, we've had it all today. We have had it all. Kudus goes down under the foul from, I think it was Edson. He seems to be okay, thankfully. There was a scream and he did one of those like jump up. You know when players get fouled, and I don't think it necessarily hits them right, but like they jump up and then in midair their legs go like this and then they fall down to the floor like that. Big that vibe. Big that vibe. He just punts it clear and connects with Jensen's foot on the way through. Thankfully, he's up and moving fine. Kudus now. Imagine being the Premier League and not televising this game today. You know? Feels like a waste, but there we go. Mikel Antonio, wide on the right-hand side. Takes on his man. Just almost beats himself there, Antonio. But charges back. He does well. He does well on the defensive side. And then we win the ball back instantaneously. Kudus fires it across. Cleared away from Collins. Jarrod Bowen was flying in behind the Brentford player. Again, nice pressing work there from Jarrod Bowen. Him, Kudus and Antonio working as a pack. Go on, Sue foul. It was definitely a foul, but love a bit of that. Love a bit of that. 7 added minutes. Where's that number come from? Jensen's just mugged off Souček. Like, Souček, okay. Flicked across, cleared away from Sofal, or hooked away from Sufal. And we calmly play it away. A little bit too far ahead of Ben Ramo, and Ben with the pace gets in there before him. Where's he got some? Where's 7 minutes come from then? Has he managed to add that one up? I just can't see it. Anyway. And Bremo does well there to take on Emerson. He beats him and goes down for a free kick in the build-up. Emerson's already on a yellow. So, I mean, as much as I was Thomas Frank, if I'd be tempted to move Mbeumo around, he's having a lot of joy down that side. He's getting a lot of space. They're trying to find him a lot, and they are taking on his man. Initially, I would say I would be tempted to move Mbeumo closer to the centre, maybe as part of the front two or something. With Emerson on a yellow, just keep giving the ball to him and just run at him. Because he's not going to be able to deal with it. Emerson's having an absolutely brilliant season. He's playing significantly better this season than he was last season, and I'm absolutely loving every second of it. But he's not the most defensively sound fullback in the world. Oh, little free kick routine! Flipping hell. Mbeumo there almost getting the goal from outside the area. Little free kick routine. It's far on the right-hand touchline. He takes it first, lays it short to someone who just takes a touch and allows him to take a shot from a much, much better angle. And it's one of those things that you can only get away with because he's so fast. If you're not a player as fast as him, you won't be able to get onto that as quickly as he does. Because our players are flying at him. And the only reason he can get there first is because he's so quick. Yeah, I just noticed that as well. It's a bit mad, isn't it, James? It's a bit mad, Sean. It's not usually... I mean, listen, I thank you all for being here. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. We do watch-alongs every single game around here. Most consistent West Ham fan channel in the game when it comes to watch-alongs. I know this season it's been a bit all over the shop, but Mbeumo from range again, but that one's high and wide. We're the most consistent at it, so if you're ever looking for a way to keep up with the game, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification to miss out future videos, because we'll be live straight after full time with this as well. We'll be having our live match review. And just like the video because it helps us out massively. If you ever if you're ever watching a YouTube video, it doesn't matter whose it is. Could be ours, could be someone else's. Could be a lovely podcast clip from Jack Makes Happy Hour. Could be an incredible stream from the Disabled team, for example. Could be a wonderful podcast from the Timeless podcast. Just hit the like because it helps us out massively. Brentford getting more and more joy as the game's going forward here. We're still looking lively. We're still getting involved in the press and everything else, which is nice to see. But Brentford are stepping up a little bit more into their own bag now at this point. Half-time, definitely the better for us, it feels like, at this stage. Got 4 more minutes of added time to play. Then we'll find out if someone's appearing at half-time. I genuinely don't know if someone is or not at this point. So that'll be fun for us all to know. Whipped in over the top of everyone. Thankfully, Emerson gets the header away. Souček continues with the head tennis. Brentford getting involved. Punted away. Nice touch from Benrahma, but he just doesn't have the pace to get away from his man. It's really nice defending there. I don't know who it was. I think it was Collins, but Benrahma just does not have the pace to get away from players like that. Oh, VAR. Forgot about that. I forgot VAR existed. Oh, look at that for another. Yes. I mean, it's Brentford doing it, but yes, love that ball. Oh, this is really nice play into the box. Gonna be another corner. Onyeka getting in there. Don't know yet. We'll see. Probably. If not live, then probably I will watch it after the fact, but probably live. First of all, Ash, how are you, bro? I haven't spoken to you in a good long while. I hope you're well, dude. I hope you're well. Actually, it's very nice and very tall, but specifically very nice and absolutely lovely, man. Mr. Gamer's off to Winchester. Let's go. Lovely afternoon. It sounds like a lovely afternoon. I mean, hopefully the weather holds up, but still. Corner comes in. Norgard again getting his head onto it, but that way it went completely the opposite direction to what he wanted, and Kudus can come away with the ball. Just charge it down the line. Just charge it down the line. You got Soufal on the overlap. Pass it back, that's fine. We can keep possession. And the passing back from those sort of positions, as frustrating as it once was, now it's a little bit less so because we have Mavropanos and Agerd and Areola in those situations where we can maintain possession in a calm way. We've got people like Ward-Prowse in there who can pass the ball around. Previously, when we'd have a winger, Jared Bowen loved a bit of this, would charge forward into those positions like Kudus just did, and then turn around and pass it backwards. And that was so frustrating, mainly because you're losing all momentum, and it's very frustrating to watch happen. But also, pardon me, when you would pass backwards, you're going to the likes of Soufal, Zuma, Ogbonna, Dawson, these type of players who are just going to pump it, who are just going to absolutely pump it clear. Fabianski, who are just going to boot it clear. It's nice when we pass it back in those positions. As frustrating as it is because you lose momentum, it's nice that when it goes back, you have ball into the box from Brentford. Thankfully, over the top of everyone, Onyeka goes for the spectacular and completely misses it. You're not Kudus, mate. Deal with that fact. We have the likes of Mavropanos and Agerd and Areola and Emerson at the back. James Ward-Prowse involved. Paqueta when he's playing getting involved. Flipping heck. BREWHU has just missed yet another chance. Jeez, it's just not his day today. Pulled across the box, fired across the box in a very similar way to the Jared Bowen fired across the box. And then BREWHU at the far post just smashes it first time under a little bit of pressure, and he pulls it just wide, and there is the halftime whistle. Half time, West Ham United 2, Brentford 1. I'll tell you what, that last 5 minutes has been absolute stress. Absolute stress. Insane. Where do you even start with a half like that? I mean, there's so much has happened in that half, and there's so much to talk about. I think we started really strongly, and then we stepped off the gas a little bit. They got the goal. From the point of them getting the goal to us getting the second, and from slightly after that, we were so good, and we were creating brilliant chances. We were defending well. We were putting them under pressure. But it is that West Ham thing under David Moyes. It is that West Ham thing of when we can get on them a little bit inside their half, we can really create stuff. When we wing the ball back in higher positions, high turnovers. Kudus getting heavily involved in those high turnovers is such a useful thing, and he's so good at it. But when we do sit that little bit deeper, you can get a little bit overrun, and without Alvarez, it feels a terrifying prospect. It feels a terrifying prospect because not only are they getting chances, which they are getting, BREWHU specifically has had chance after chance after chance, they're getting people in interesting positions centrally. If we're playing our strongest 11, we're really good at just sitting deep, sitting tight in our little hole, and enforcing players around us into those wide positions to sort of cross into the box, and that's fine. You have Agerd, you have Mavropanos, you have Zuma, you have Souček, you have all these big men who can head it away and all this other sort of stuff. When you don't have that solidity and they're finding that space into the center, that's when we become really porous and it becomes really scary. And that I feel like it's because we don't have Alvarez on the pitch. Last season we'd have Declan Rice, which would help out with that. This season we have Alvarez, which would help with that. And without that player, we do feel a little bit too porous. BREWHU is getting a lot of joy. He's doing really well out there. And initially, my vibe for Brentford were, if I'm them, half-time, I'm switching him up, getting him more central. He's looking really good today. He's putting us under a lot of pressure. He's finding a lot of space. He's very, very dangerous. And my temptation would be, yeah, let's get him there. But he's got Emerson on toast, and he should just keep running at him, because I think Emerson's on a yellow card, and if a red card is going to happen, it's going to happen there. But Brentford, the rest of their players are just... They're finding a lot of opportunities, and it's very concerning, is what I'll say. I'm so blocked up right now. Jesus. So do we change things up? I think you probably would. It's not something I would be too keen to do, because I think it's worked well what we've done today. You see it. We've scored twice. We should have scored a third. So clearly there are a lot of things working about today's formation, and a lot of things about the way we've set up. But having said that, it does feel a little bit like a waiting game now, as if we're just like, it's almost an inevitability that they're going to score at some point. And the idea of I don't know. It's a sticky one. We'll have to see how that ends up playing out. I mean, we all know what Moyes is going to do. I say all this. We all know what Moyes is going to do. Moyes will, the second half, there will be no change at half time. And hopefully we come out with a second half performance more similar to Arsenal than we did almost any other game. But if we can come out in the way we did against Arsenal, which I have no reason to believe we can't do, because we've shown today that we have put that sort of work rate and effort and pressing in that we have done in that game more often than we usually do, then, it'll be a vibe. But it does feel a little bit like they are knocking on the door. They are knocking on the door and seeing who answers right now. Thankfully, the answer is no one. And BREWHU keeps missing. And long may that continue, but my God. This is the stress, isn't it? This is the stress. But like I say, we've shown recently that we have the ability to avoid that. Arsenal was a great example. We'll see. Has cost us a goal again. We have no strikers yet. We were playing two up front. Antonio is a striker, but it's yeah. That misses. The fact that we have one of what will go down as one of the goals of the month easily with Mohamed Kudus, like an incredible goal, and then also one of the worst misses you'll see all month, potentially all season, in the same half. It's just incredible from us, just incredible stuff from us. I just. As the commentator said, I don't know which one it was. I don't know if it was the main commentator or the side commentator, or the co-commentator is usually what I say, Charlie, not the side commentator. I don't know who it was, but someone said as a striker, you're always going to go for that. My big problem is communication. I don't know if one of them's called for it. I don't know if that's happened. The way that Ben Rama reacted suggests to me that there wasn't the right communication in place, but that was my frustration. And where we saw communication being a big problem at the back, I feel like there's just a problem there with the team. I feel like there is just a problem there where we need something, anything in that area. Antonio got an assist through a worldy effort from Kudus. He definitely stopped us leading 3-1. Weak link in passing would try Mubama for at least 30. I would. It's not going to happen, Jason, because David Moyes doesn't want to play youth players. But I would love to see him play in this game. I think Antonio's played a really important role today. I do think that's important to say. I think as much as there are definitive and look, as true as it is that Antonio has caused us problems today, he has. Like that big chance, for example, was a huge moment in the game. And the longer that half went on, the more it felt like they were going to score, and the more it's like, man, being 3-1 up would be really nice right about now. Antonio has played an important role. The pressing has been good from him. The defensive side has been good from him. And the running has been really good. He has been getting into good positions going forward. And that is creating space for the likes of Kudus to get on the ball in interesting areas, for Bowen to get on the ball in interesting areas. And perhaps moving him out of the team, you lose a little bit of that. And that is a big problem. Because Antonio's movement, you can't really not mark him. If you're Brentford, if you're an opposition team and you look at Antonio, you can't just let him go. Right, as much as he isn't the Antonio he was 2 seasons ago, you can't just let him go and do whatever he wants. You have to sort of keep an eye on him. And when he is moving around here, there, and everywhere, it does give a huge amount of space to Bowen and Kudus specifically. Having said that, I think Mubama does bring a lot of the movement stuff and a lot of the physicality that Mikel Antonio brings. And I would love to see him get game time today. He won't because David Moyes would just never play him. But I would love to see it personally, like you say, even if it is just for half an hour, even if it's for less than that, just to see him get that opportunity to see if he can bring what Mikel Antonio brings. My concern is that we're going to be, if it's still a tight game by that point, I don't think there's a situation in which he could justify it. Although here's the thing, he's probably going to bring on Danny Ings from anyway. And so at that point, you might as well do anything. You could bring on Lucas Fabianski up front and it would be just as effective. So why not at that point? But we all know what will happen. We all know what will happen. Yeah, I don't think there'll be any subs at halftime. I will say that. A little bit. Would not surprise me. As well. So. I should say as well, I've missed both of these. Thank you very much to Dave at Deep Punch Strong Gaming. Embrace November. Your mental health matters, man. Very much so. Very much so. See a therapist. I have. Trust me, it was an incredible experience. It was super useful for me. So do it. And get involved. Although I'm probably going to do the opposite of that and have to get rid of this at some point soon. But still. And then GP with the £2. Thank you very much. Jihan Gonzo, make Charlie work. See. Listen. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm very old. But both your names will be going in the top corner in just a moment. Once we get through some of these. Because I realise I'm super far behind. I realise I'm insanely far behind. Games crying out for Cornet. First of all, subscribe to Mbreezy FM. Follow him on Twitch. Subscribe if you want to get involved with that as well. Amazon Prime, do you know what I mean? Trust me, Football Manager streamer of the king of Football Manager streamers. IMO, in my humble opinion. And that's not just because he's doing a West Ham save at the moment. That's just my general opinion as well. I would love to see a bit of Ben. I would love to see a bit of Cornet in the pitch, you know? Just sprinting at people, getting a bit of pace in there. I'd be here for it. From counter-attacking perspective, you could see how it'd be super useful. Again, it won't happen, but still. Not necessarily a bad point, Gary, to be fair. Not necessarily a bad point. I feel like I would be more, if you ask me how we're going to come out at halftime, I would suspect it be the usual way, which would be poorer, but the Arsenal game shows and proves that we are capable of going from halftime and pushing on and putting us in a good position. I really hope we see that today. Lasser, good to see you, says, I fear that Antonio will be sitting. The Antonio sitter will come back to haunt us. Because it's been amazing though. Bowen, 2, strongly agree. Kudus' goal is world class. Oh my god, what a goal! It was an absolute banger, Emma. An absolute banger. If that isn't in the goal of the month compilation, at least, then it will be an absolute travesty. Edson needs help. He definitely does. He definitely does. I feel like, again, Mbemo just has him on toast. It just is the way it is, the way it goes, right? And him being on a yellow card is certainly not useful. Him being on a yellow card is very, very not useful for us. I feel like that's something we're going to have to deal with at some point, because if Brentford don't change up and keep Mbemo on that side, then it does feel a little bit like a red card is written in the stars for Emerson, which I really hope doesn't happen, because he's been so good this season and I don't want to miss him, even though we already have had 2 for 1 game for suspensions and all that. I really hope he doesn't, because it's a scary prospect. It's a scary prospect in Mbemo up against him. And actually, looking further down the line in other Premier League games, people are going to be looking at Everton as a walking yellow card and just start targeting him. So him needing help is very, very true. Yeah, that's my opinion. I don't actually know how the table's working out, but that feels correct. Missed Kudus goal. What happened? AS. It was incredible. Ball gets played to Antonio. Charges it down on the left hand side. Plays a ball in. It was very similar to Andy Carroll's overhead kick against, was it Crystal Palace at the London Stadium? I think it was Crystal Palace. But it was very similar to that, where Antonio balled across with his weak left foot, pulls it back. It was a little bit behind Kudus, who hits an incredible volley backwards, off both feet off the ground, sort of swinging round. Ball behind him, flies in. I seek it out sooner rather than later, AS, because it was an absolute screamer. Let me scroll down, because again, like I say, the chat. I know how far behind I am on chat, so let's just go crazy. Let's just go crazy and get to the bottom, shall we? Why not? Let's go mad. I saw Tom with the £2 on the way through. Tom, thank you very much for the super sticker. Thank you very much, everyone, for the super chats. It really, like I say, I cannot stress, it helps us out a huge amount. So it's very, very kind of you all. Thank you. Corny is a low IQ footballer. Just happened to pick up his weekly wage. He ain't interested in playing. Hopefully we can sign someone we can get someone to buy him in January. I disagree. I think Cornet has been maligned at West Ham. There were moments where he first joined, where he was looking really sharp and lively, and when he first came back from injury, there were moments where he looked really sharp and lively. Since then, they have been few and far between, and he's only gotten worse. I don't think he's happy just to collect wages. I don't think it's up to him whether he plays or not. I feel like, though, it's becoming more and more difficult to justify selecting him, but he's also not been given the opportunity to prove himself. It's a 50-50 thing, you know? It's really annoying, because if you have a player who is capable of doing something, but you're not giving him the chance to, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy when they don't, because he gets subbed on with like 2 seconds. He gets subbed on with 2 minutes to go in games. It's like, what's he going to do at that point? You know, I feel like he needs to come on early if we are to see anything on, but it's difficult to justify that given the fact that since he came back from injury, he's only gotten worse. Which is annoying, because when he first came back, even when he first came back from that horrendous injury, I felt like there were moments where I was like, "Ooh, here we go." But that's just happened less and less. It's annoying. It's very annoying. I think Brentford is changing their goalkeeper here. I think Strakowska, however you pronounce his name, is coming on. Because I can see, they are substituting goalkeepers, Brentford. A rare move. Brentford subbing their goalkeeper. As the teams are coming out, I'm looking at West Ham. Can't see any other changes. Sort of scanning the Brentford players, although I would pick up on that way less. But I can't see any other changes there. I think that's the only change. I think the only change at half-time, I believe, the bench is still up, is Flecken off and Strakowska. Don't know how to pronounce it. We're going to have to see how the commentator does, because I've never known how to. Coming on for Brentford. I think that's the only change at half-time, I believe. As we are getting close to the second half kicking off, remember that we are live throughout the rest of this game. So stick around if you'd like to. I'd love you to be here. Equally, come back for full-time, because we will have a live match review straight after the full-time whistle on this very channel. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like the video. Kudos of volley that like button, please, if you would. It helps us out a huge amount. I do think that is the only change. It wouldn't surprise me. Let me put it this way. It doesn't surprise me that Flecken has come off. He had a very shaky first half. So a big second half from Strakowska is necessary from them. We are underway at the second half. Come on, you irons. Deploy the boys. It's time to run two things. Brentford 1, West Ham United 2. No other changes at halftime that I could see from either side. Again, be interested to see how this plays out. It's going to be a long throw straight away from Vladimir Sofal from the right-hand side. Looking to launch it. Does. Looking for Mavropanos. Can't quite get his head onto that. Charge down from James Ward-Prowse to stop BREWHU, who just hooks it forward, and it's going to go out for a throw. Realise I never unmuted. Vibes. It's fine. It's fine. I just do these things. Muted to cough. Never unmuted. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Yeah. I realise that. I realise that now. Yeah, no, I'm just dumb. 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 It is going to be a long half, Philip. I agree. Played in, headed away, thankfully, from Sufal. The worst thing is, Gareth, is I actually hate talking to myself, and yet it's the entire bit, isn't it? It's the entire bit. Brentford starting half brighter of the two teams. Again, it's once teams get to close to the halfway line and we sort of concertina back into that defensive formation, we find it quite difficult to get out of that. Find it quite difficult to come out of that. We always have. I feel like having the likes of Paqueta helped that a lot. Unfortunately, obviously, we don't have him today. Just because it allows us to get on the ball and get forward in interesting ways and keep possession of the ball and build up in ways that we can't do without him. And we're seeing that a little bit today where BREWHU does really well, just takes on Souček and loses. Thankfully, that time, and Norga power drives it over. Because in those positions, it's one of those situations where we concertina ourselves, because once teams get to sort of near the halfway line, we start to drop back into our defensive shape, our full-on defensive shape, and we compress a lot. And it's then trying to play out of that and get out of that becomes difficult, because we end up, what was the big problem previously is we'd end up booting it long to try and get forward, because that's the way our play was and the way our defenders could pass the ball. Antonio wants a free kick there, doesn't get one. Is what it is. Good interception, though, from Thomas Souček, and it's hooked away from Vladimir Sufal. And then inevitably, the opposition players pick up the ball, and they're already in that position, so we're compressed again. And it's always really difficult to come out of that, we find. When we had Paqueta on the left, it meant that we had someone deeper who could get involved in passing plays with Emerson, with Agard, with other people, which meant we didn't have to go long every single time. And it allowed us to come out of that formation a little bit more frequently than we were doing. And it meant that we wouldn't find situations like we're finding today against Brentford, where when we are in that position, we are finding it difficult to come back out. We're not playing it long as much. We have Mavropanos and Agard, which is really helpful to us. But we are still losing the ball a little bit too frequently in those positions, and a little bit too frequently as the ball gets further up the pitch, and yeah, they end up coming at us again. This is a good position here, though. Jarrod Bowen, not bad ball in, a little bit too close to the goalkeeper in the end. The idea was nice. I thought, thank you very much. First of all, Gareth, very kind of you to say. Disagree with you, but I appreciate it. I can't disagree with you on that. That's not something you can disagree with, but I just, I can't take compliments. How do we play in the first half? I thought, well, for a lot of it, we played very well. It was a 50-50 half. Defensively, I think we could be better, although we defended relatively well. Attacking-wise, we were really good for about half of the half. Brentford could and maybe should have more goals, but so should we. It'll be interesting to see how the second half happens. Not too much. We haven't. This Bowen Antonio thing that's going on sort of has stopped us from doing it too much. Has stopped us from doing it too much, because we tend to be just finding them, and also actually Kudus being involved in that as well stops us from doing it, because my man does not know how to go to the byline. That's not his vibe. He can do it, don't get me wrong, and he has done in this game, but he wants to pick up the ball and go centrally. Benrahma losing out on the ball. Thankfully, it lands at the ball of it lands at the feet of Bowen. Antonio picks up the ball, takes on his man. Who is that centre back, by the way? Is it Aya or is it Collins? Whoever it is, it's got a bit of pace on him. Because Antonio there has just been done again. He tries to take on his man and he just couldn't get there. And BREWHU, I think, is going to get a yellow. Or is he? No, he's going to give Souček a yellow. Oh no, he's giving it to Souček. Okay. All right. David Moyes is not happy about it. When BREWHU was coming forward, thought Souček got the ball. Nah, he misses it completely. I'm wrong. He misses it completely. Fair play. Yellow card. This is the thing, is he's so good at certain things. He's so good at certain things, and he's so important to us. I cannot begin to stress. Without Antonio, we are nothing. We are nothing most of the time. The Arsenal game was a beautiful situation, not just because we beat Arsenal and what a result and everything else, but because it's the first time without Antonio we've actually looked okay. We never, ever, ever look okay without Antonio. Just, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, it's difficult. It's difficult. It's a yellow card. Is that a yellow card for David Moyes? David Moyes is he's going mad on the touchline. Yeah, he's been yellow carded. He's been going absolutely balmy on the touchline about something. What I appreciate by the way, is he got yellow carded from the ref and then continued. He just did not stop. Full respect for that. Full respect for that. Mavropanos for a big, powerful header. Sort of bouncing around. Big bit of head tennis now. You love to see it. Onyeka looking for that first time ball through from Mopé. Heavy touch from again. It's going to be a corner. Commentator just said that they haven't scored from a corner yet this season. They play it short. Backs it in BREWHU on that right hand side. Whips it in swinger. Collins gets his head to it. It's 2-2. Everything they've done today has been through BREWHU. Everything they've done today is through BREWHU. And he does it again there. Short corner, laid back to him. He puts a good cross in. But I'll be honest with you, not a cross that we shouldn't be able to deal with. And it's 2-2. Looking at it again. It's Mavropanos who's there, but he's in front of Collins. It's an own goal, I think, from Mavropanos. So, yeah, it's Mavropanos' own goal. He just puts himself in a position where he sort of that was pretty bad. That was pretty freaking bad. Collins is in behind him, so he has to do something at that stage. And he can't move backwards to be in a slightly better position to deal with it, but Collins is physically there. But Mavropanos, the ball comes to him and he just sort of gets ahead on it. There's no real idea there. And he's sort of just like that, and it goes backwards. His head movement is towards it. It just... what can you do? What can you do? Two. Like I said, it did feel like a matter of time before they were going to score potentially. And the second half, it was how we were going to come out, and we just haven't come out. We just haven't come out in anywhere close to an interesting way. Unfortunately for us, back outside to BREWHU again on the right-hand side. Good interception there. Well, I say good interception. To be honest with you, it was kicked straight at him. But, we do it. Kudus with the control. Come on, take him on. Dangerous pass, but all right, fine. It's worked out, but I want Kudus to take on his man a bit more, Like in those situations where I want to get the ball as far up the pitch as possible, he didn't take on his man enough for me. I want him to see in those deep areas, take on someone, go for it. He goes for the pass more often than not. Antonio on the ball. Does well to keep hold of it. Tried to find a cross. Couldn't quite find him. The ball does end up going to Vladimir Sofal. Yeah, it was just sort of panicked. He couldn't really move, and he just sort of has to get a head onto it. And it's just, even the way he flicks his head it's only going one direction. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. We're gonna get a free kick. Sufal is appalled by something that happened there. Foul on Jensen. We took it so quickly that all I heard was the sarcastic cheer from the Brentford fans. Bell o'clock. I'm seeing some calls for bells. I'm seeing some calls for bells happen. I saw Draconian a little while ago saying it. Bell double drop. Bell o'clock. Brentford passing the ball around. I've seen enough calls. I'll lob a poll in chat. Bell, yes or no? Dropping it in now. I'll give it until 60 minutes. 60 minutes. A nice 90-second timer. I'll tell you what, Ishmael. The oranges I have in now are delightful. Delightful. I've been sitting there. I should put the names in the thing. I've been having, whenever I have an orange at the moment, I'm having the best time of my life. It's so nice. And Bemo charges forward, pulls it back across. Flipping heck. He is offside, okay. I was going to say, because his pace is such a massive issue. Like, it's such a problem for us most of the time, but for most teams. But just that ability to get into those advanced areas so quickly, and our defence just dropping back, can't keep up with it. And then when he pulls it back across goal, it just puts us at 6s and 7s and puts it behind us, which is not something we can deal with in any way, shape or form. But thank you, Tom. Thank you, GP. Thank you, Dave, Asta D Punch on Gaming. And thank you, JJ, for the full-time funds. Much appreciated. We could do a Bell versus Orange poll. I'll tell you what, the poll's ending now. Let's see where we're at. Unsurprisingly, it's incredibly heavy to yes. 81% said yes, 18% said no. We'll do... I'll tell you what, we'll do that very quickly. We'll make this poll shorter. Pablo Fornal's going to come on. I suspect it'll be for Said Benrahma. Which, Bell versus Orange, I'll give it until 61.5. We'll just do a little short one for this one. Big punt over the top from Kudus, but shot from range not necessarily bad. I would suspect Pablo Fornals would come on for Benrahma. Better defensively. Benrahma's not really having a notable game in my opinion at this point. Kudus trying to spectacular from range was never going to happen. That's going to be another free kick. Brentford on the halfway line. Yellow card coming out once more. That time I think for Mavropanos. Yeah. Mavropanos. Thank you, Premier Sports Fan Sense. That's very kind of you to say. I appreciate it. Not much. Not much right now. I can't lie. Not much. This unfortunately. Oh, this is a lot closer than the last one. I'll tell you that much. I've ended it. It could go either way because it was changing up until the final second. 46% said orange, 53% said Bell. So unfortunately, it is going to have to be Bell. So I'm going to go get a Bell. But I'll tell you what, I will be having an orange straight after the match for the citrus regardless because they are beautiful oranges. I'll tell you that much. I went fancy because I was like, I need them. But yeah, I'm going to go get Bell. Hang on. I'll be back in a sec. Danny will keep you company in the meantime. Does the Danny button still work? Let's test that. Don't know. I haven't tested it in a long time. Is that one? Close enough. Danny will keep you company. One sec. Bell. Oh my god. The nerve in my back's gone again. I can barely breathe. He is in a slightly awkward position there, Danny. Oh, Christ, my back. That's going to be another yellow. Antonio with a flick around the back. Oh my god, I can barely breathe. Oh no, Danny Ings is coming on. Oh my god, the pain. Right. Antonio and Ben Rama are off. Ings and Fornals on. Right. Need to take paracetamol now because Jesus Christ. Right. I will get the bell in a second. It's going to be a corner regardless. Sorry, a free kick. James Ward-Prowse pings it in, can't quite manage it. You are seeing someone in an excruciating amount of pain right now. Bornhouse does well. It's a little flick over. A bit unnecessary, but you love to see it regardless. And tries to play it in. Unfortunately, Danny Ings is on the pitch, which means I think we've given up on this game. Maybe with Bowen alongside him, it'll be different. You know, we saw in pre-season when Danny Ings has someone alongside of him, he's not totally useless. But, you know, who knows? Who knows? Brentford come away with it. Thankfully, the ball goes nowhere. It's going to be a throw into Brentford wide on the, well, obviously wide on the left hand side, forward in a sort of in the corner quadrant. I don't have a happy British fan. Otherwise, trust me, I'll be downing it right now. I only have those. That's the last two paracetamol I have as well. So I'm probably gonna have to ring my girlfriend's brother or something and be like, "Can you go to the shop and get me paracetamol, please?" Seems we're both ill. Big long throw into the box from Brentford. All headed on from Pinnock. Bounces around. Hit. Flipping out blocked, thankfully. Midboard. Pablo Fornals can't quite get the ball away. It's bouncing around here, there, and everywhere between Brentford and West Ham players. Oh my god. Playing the ball around now. Brentford trying to find their way forward. Down the left-hand side. At this point, something. Do it in the middle of the stream. Aim down and just start going absolutely wild for it. I need to do something. It's really bad. I trapped a nerve in it the other day. Unfortunately, I don't drink it. Otherwise, again, it would be down right now. I trapped a nerve in it the other day. I've trapped a nerve in it before. I don't know what it is that causes it. Something is causing it in my daily life, and I don't know what. Because it's the second time it's happened in about 4 months or something. Maybe a bit longer than that. But the pain is exquisite right now. Played out wide for Brentford, tried to find their way in. Soufal cooks it away. It's going to be a corner, I think. Or did it bounce? No, it bounced off the defender player. The Brentford player lost. But we are completely in defensive mode now. We are fully in that, in our defending bag. Not a single person outside of the box most of the time. Big long boot instantly, of course, goes back to Brentford. Now this is where it becomes difficult. With the temptation to just keep going long is a problem. And now we've got a significantly less effective forward on the pitch in Danny Ings compared to Mikel Antonio in terms of counter-attacking. And so it's going to be a bit of an absolute mess for the last 22 minutes here. Unless something changes. I feel like it was maybe someone warming up there. I'm not sure. It was a good tackle there from Emerson, by the way, to stop that one from going forward. Long throw from Brentford. Headed away, but straight back into that area. Whipped into the back post. Header! 3-2. 3-2. Like we said, it's done. It's done, ladies and gentlemen. It's done. There is no chance for us now, unfortunately. Collins with the goal. It's unfortunate as well because we were so good for such a significant portion of time in that first half, but second half has just been absolutely nothing. And I don't want Collins. I don't want to pick out. I feel too bad picking out individuals at this point. Especially like in this situation, I'd prefer to watch it a couple of times before I say anything. But Mavropanos has been done twice by Collins right now. Collins that time that was a Gerd. That wasn't even Mavropanos. Not necessarily as bad as the first one. Necessarily, he pulls off towards the fullback, and it's just he's in that space in between. But 3-2, and you can only see it going one way at this point. Unfortunately, you can only see it going one way at this point. Pablo Fornals plays it out, looking for the right hand side, completely misses it. Brentford collect the ball once more. 20 minutes to go, and it feels like it's going to be an incredibly long 20 minutes. How are you, bro? Hope you're well. Hope you're good. I'm going to try something stupid here. Okay, right. We're in a slightly better position. The thing is you can defend for 45 minutes if you have your best defenders on, which we do not. When you are in this sort of deep positions, it's a perfect Zuma scenario. But equally and more importantly, Alvarez. That you can probably sit back for a longer period of time. Now, you probably can't for 45 minutes against anyone realistically, regardless, most of the time. But we could be a significantly better defensive force if we had those people on. But unfortunately, with not that Mavropanos is a bad player or again a bad player, but just like when you're sat deep, Zuma is unreal. He's just unmatched for us. And equally, Alvarez just having that person in that position, because again, right now they're just getting into those central areas and just moving through it way too easily. And BREWHU thankfully messes that one up, but it's just silly. It's just absolutely silly. Good to see you, Budge, by the way. Hope you're well, bro. Hope you're good. Bowen managed just to sneak his way through. Couldn't quite manage it. But again, I mean, look, it's not unusual for us to get absolutely played by Brentford. You know, it's not unusual for us. That's not an excuse, by the way. It's just me going, well, maybe even if Alvarez was here, it'd still happen because Brentford they always have our number. It's frustrating to say, it shouldn't be like that, but you know what I'm saying. One of the big things that's happening now, Aya's getting forward again now here, just steaming forward from the back. One of the big indicators right now, Brentford's centre backs are getting very far forward, because frankly, there's no need for them to stay back. What's Danny Ings going to do? Counter attack? It's not going to happen. So, yeah. Right, I'm actually going to attempt to eat the bell now. I'll happily take the L because I didn't eat the bell because of the back thing. So we'll take that one on the chin. We'll take that one on the chin. I guarantee you now it's 0%. I guarantee you now. I know there'll be a lot of people speaking about this. There is a 0% chance of David Moyes getting sacked after this result. 0%. I know that's not what people want, but there's a 0% chance of it happening. It might happen further down the line, but it's going to be significantly further down the line. Like last season, right? Think about how poor we were the last 6 months of the season before last in the Premier League. Last season, we weren't great in the Premier League, and yet he still survived all the way to the end to win us a trophy. If that's the kind of... I'm not eating the wax, bro. I'm not eating the wax, no matter what you say. If that's the kind of, like, staying power he has before he wins a trophy, then after he wins a trophy, and with as good a start as we had this season, I think there is a 0% chance of David Moyes getting sacked this calendar year. Unless we were to lose every single game. If we were to start losing every single game without fail, then yeah, maybe that would probably change. But I don't think that's going to happen, and realistically, if that's the case, then he's not getting sacked this calendar year. I feel like anyone talking about it is different. But anyway, bell is going in, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to mix in with that paracetamol well. That's going to be great, isn't it? Should I not eat it? Well, who cares? I'm just going to go. What's the worst that could happen? He said, pre-death. Brentford are going to make another substitute in a second. I think David Sullivan, the way David Sullivan manages teams is when they don't need anything, he's less likely to change things. And you see that with signings in January, right? When we're doing really well, we tend not to make signings in January. When we're doing really badly, we tend to make signings in January. In this scenario where David Moyes has just won a trophy and has also started this season really well, I know we're playing terribly right now. Again, you have to take out beating Arsenal 3-1, which feels unfair, but it can't really hurt. He's less likely to do stuff when things are going fine, unfortunately. But yeah, he's not going to go. He's not going to go. It sucks, but it's just not going to. Desperately, but you know. Five chicken selects? Yes. Oh, a happy birthday for tomorrow, Draconian. Oh my god, my back. Happy birthday for tomorrow, Draconian. Hope you have a good one, bro. Hopefully we get in there. Ball played in. Hooked away. 14 minutes left. But yeah, thank you very much. Helps us out massively. I'll be logging your thing in a sec. you go, sir. Thank you very much. At some point, I will come up with a system for doing that automatically. Can't be asked yet, but at some point it will. But it comes down to whether he is or he isn't, right? I think that's the big difference, is whether or not he's the one who's in charge of hiring and firing managers. He might be in charge of picking the next manager, but I don't know if he'll be in charge of firing managers. It's a very difficult thing. I don't know how involved Sully still is in the process. Kudus whips it in towards the back post, header across back, can't quite make it. Closer. We're getting a little bit closer. Last couple of minutes, we're getting a little bit closer, a little bit more joy, a little bit more advanced positions, getting a few more people forward. That final pass is completely eluding us right now, but Kudus floats it across to Souček at the back, who tried to nod it back across goal, couldn't quite manage it. Is that going to be another double sub for Brentford? Yeah, Ayer and Jensen coming off. Rawslef and Yumlook coming on. Rawslef. And Yarmo Luke? Something like that? Do you know what? It'll do. Ward-Prowse hits it off. It was close. Rawslev, because I've accidentally deleted what I needed to do. Yarmo Luke. There we go. There we go. Ward-Prowse finds so foul played into the box. Kudus. Finals! Oh, just over. It's a good hit, but always rising. Last 5 minutes, we've gotten on significantly better. We've gotten significantly better. Close. No. The only time they've ever listened is when there was a literal protest, mutiny, riot inside the stadium, in which shit was getting thrown at them from the fans. That's the only time they've ever listened. Outside of that, they're not going to listen. And to be honest with you, I don't know. My opinion on Moyes, maybe now's not the time, because it's going to get a very negative reaction. But yeah, also I've got a bad bag. Like, can't think straight. Have a bag of me. Budgie, thank you very much. That's incredibly kind of you, sir. You did not need to do that. If you haven't already subscribed to Green Street Elites, by the way, what the hell are you doing? Good stuff over there. Was it last night, night before? I don't remember. Time is a flat circle. But a little cheeky stream, talking with the likes of CD and whatnot. And Duke, of course, from Forge for Mine. So check them out if you haven't already. Green Street Elites. But thank you, Budge. You did not need to do that in any way, shape, or form, bro. It's very kind of you. There you go. I've put the channel name in there as well, Budge, just in case it helps. It probably won't, but just in case, you know. Edson plays the ball around. We're in control. We're in control of the ball right now. We've got a bit of getting a bit of possession, trying to find a way forward. And the problem is we do have Danny Ings up front, but that's still. Kudus makes a run into centre, looking for the space. Almost managed to find it. Headed back towards goal from Edson. Can't quite get there. Poor. Could get thrown wide, throwing far forward on the left-hand side. Fornals trying a little flick, doesn't quite make it. Kudus fouls Onyeka on the halfway line. Difference is it's part of their setup, right? It's part of their succession plan, right? It's their entire bit, you know. But they also don't have a youth academy, or they might have one now. But they certainly didn't for many years. They had a B team. So you buy a promising 19-year-olds, you buy a promising 18-year-olds, and you play them, and then you get the most out of that situation. You're moneyballing it. Whereas that's not we don't have a succession plan like that. We don't have a succession plan for getting players in the first team, and that's not necessarily a Moyes problem. That's a club-wide problem, and it has been before he got here. The only, don't get me wrong, Moyes has made that significantly worse because he doesn't want to play youth players. So it's obviously significantly worse, but it's something that we need in general at the club. Is we need succession plans for youth players to get game time, and that would be helped without Moyes because Moyes doesn't want to play youth players, but it wouldn't be 100% solved. That needs to be something that we need in place as like a non-negotiable type thing, not necessarily in terms of like youth players must play this many minutes or blah 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 blah, but like there needs to be something in place to where it's massively beneficial. And when you have a huge squad like we do, it makes it less likely. Because right now we do have a big squad. Like we might not rate everyone in the squad, but when you can fill an entire big Premier League bench, long ball in, doesn't work again. High boot, surely. No, referee says no, waves him on. I feel like that was a high boot. I'm not going to lie about it, but still. You need to sacrifice someone. So, for example, Mbama, we can't have Danny Ings in the squad. Danny Ings needs to be sold before Mbama can get consistent game time, For other players that we have, you need to sell them before you can get consistent game time. Because it's just, you can't, it's so difficult to justify playing a 19-year-old, be it Mbama, be it anyone else in the team, over a senior player who's on 100k, 80k, whatever it is. It's really difficult to do that. So, like I say, it's not even necessarily a Moyes thing, although obviously Moyes makes it significantly worse because it basically makes your chance zero because he's just not going to do it regardless. But it is a club-wide issue. We need to stop stacking players unnecessarily. We need to get better at selling players we're not going to use in order to give time and space for those players to get game time. Because obviously they're just not going to. It's infuriating, but they're just not going to. Came close there, didn't quite work out, but we are going to get a throw in. We went backwards, but at least we maintained possession of it. Where's the lie, bro? Where's the lie? How is name any player? Name any player. Kudus. How is Kudus going to get in ahead of Benrahma, Fornals, Kudus, Paqueta, Bowen, Antonio if he wanted to play him out wide? How's he going to get in ahead of any of them? Skulls. How's he going to get in ahead of Emerson, Cresswell, Johnson, Kera? How are any of them going to get in ahead of him? It just does. It's just when you have too many in those positions, it becomes incredibly close from Brentford to get fourth. It becomes incredibly difficult for them to find that game time because we're paying a hell of a lot of money for these people to be in those positions. Again, if you are a manager whose mandate is youth, then you will do that. But the true thing is getting rid of those players so you can actually play those youth players. That's the point. Now, again, this is not a defense of Moyes. I feel like people will misconstrue what I'm saying as a defense of David Moyes. It is not a defense of Moyes because Moyes makes it a 0% sum. It makes it a zero-sum game. Moyes will not play youth players regardless of the scenario. Because when we had no players, Moyes still did not play youth players. When we had no other striker, and we didn't even have Danny Ings or anything else, we literally only had Mikel Antonio, he didn't play those players. So David Moyes, it becomes a zero-sum game. But it doesn't matter if you have David Moyes in charge. It doesn't matter if you have Thomas Frank in charge. It doesn't matter if you have literally any other manager in charge. Unless you have space for those youth players to get game time, it becomes really difficult to give them game time. And that's my point. You can't sit here, like Danny Ings makes it almost impossible to give Mbama game time. If I am in charge, I would play Mbama over Danny Ings 100 times out of 100. If I'm playing this system, maybe if I'm playing a different system, you can justify Ings playing whatever, but you can't in this system because it just doesn't work, right? The problem is, if you want to sell Danny Ings, who's on 100k a week, so it's already difficult to justify. If you want to sell him, then he has to be playing to put him in front of people. It's a catch-22. You can't just keep adding players and then go, why aren't there youth players playing as well? Do you know what I mean? It's more, again, I'm not saying he is not part of the problem. What I'm saying is, regardless of David Moyes, we have a problem in this. It's not anything to do with David Moyes would not do it regardless, but you have to separate that out. It's not like for the last 20 years before David Moyes here, we had this incredible line of academy players coming through consistently. It's not true to say that. We had more coming through, and when you had a manager like Pellegrini, he was more willing to do it and was willing to give space up in the squad for players to do it. Then it was a thing. But that needs to be part of our problem. We panic and we start buying random people like Danny Ings. That's not a David Moyes problem. That's a David Sullivan problem. And that stops it. It's stupid. It's dumb. Do you know what I mean? If we want to sit here and go, oh, well, if David Moyes was here, then Mubama, all these players are going to get game time. Marshall, Mubama, Scarles, Earthy, all these players are going to get game time. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Oh, 100%. That's also true. But that's the problem with you have to get rid of him at some point. And at this point, he's got probably next to no value anyway. So the better option is just to keep putting him in people's faces and going, look, there's a striker here. Whereas realistically, it's stupid. The Danny Ings thing is the most frustrating thing in the world. The most frustrating thing in the world. Because I still believe in Danny Ings could go to a different Premier League side and at least score goals. But under a David Moyes system, it's just never going to happen. So I don't get why we bought him in the first place. The signing of Danny Ings, we said it at the time, or at least I said it at the time. I don't get why we did it in the first place. It just makes no sense. It just makes no sense whatsoever. It just frustrates me, man. It just frustrates me sometimes because I'm like, I feel so strongly about youth players and youth progression in football. And it's something that I was so proud of as a West Ham fan for such a long time. Like when I was a kid, I fell in love with West Ham, and the first player I fell in love with is Joe Cole. Big ball forward, not happening. If something happens, don't worry, we'll get back to the game. Right now, it's just nothing's really happening. When I first fell in love with West Ham, the first player I fell in love with was Joe Cole. He was breaking into the team when I first started watching, and it was such a beautiful thing from a young West Ham fan to see a young player who I looked up to. And when I was playing football with my mates, and I grew up in North London, and they're all Arsenal fans, another sub for Brentford. Kudus getting involved in a bit of beef again here. He's telling the player to get off quickly. You love to see a bit of passion like that. You absolutely love to see a bit of passion like that. It is probably partly the back pain. I can't lie. It's probably partly that, where it's like a bear with a thing in their paw, a splinter in their paw. Ben Mee comes on for Jan out for the last 4 minutes this game, 3 minutes this game. When I first fell in love with West Ham, Joe Cole was coming through. And when I was playing football as a kid with all my friends who are Arsenal fans and Manchester United fans and all that, and they're like, oh, I'm Thierry Henry, I'm this player, I'm that player, I was always Joe Cole. I adored Joe Cole. What an absolute legend. And I'm so passionate about the fact that West Ham players for such a long time have not been given the opportunity to see these youth players coming through, because it just did not happen before. Pellegrini was the one guy. Pellegrini put in Declan Rice, he put in Diangana, he put in Johnson, he put in Ngakia, he put in so many different youth players. Whereas outside of that, we've just not been doing it for a long time. And part of that is because our own, and actually all of that is because our owners are just absolute numpties who when it just keep buying people aimlessly and endlessly, and it's like there's no plan there in place. That was one of my big hopes for getting started in it, is hopefully putting those plans in place. Because I would love to see a situation in which we actually get to see youth players play football again for West Ham. It's a beautiful thing. Whipped in. Bounced away. Shot from range coming in from Emerson. Gets underneath it. Always rising. 2 more minutes left. 2 more minutes left. We've been a lot better since the goal, but we've still not been good. We've still not been good. Do you know what I mean? We've been better, but Brentford have pretty much vacated it and allowed us to do that. We haven't created anywhere near the chances that we need to. We've been getting in and around the box, but we've not been creating chances, which is a big problem. Minute and a half left. Minute and a half left. Also, it is 100% the back. If I wasn't in pain, I probably wouldn't be saying any of this. Well done from Fornals there, just to get a foot in to stop that one. Brentford maintained possession of the ball, but he's done really well. Looking for Mbemo. Good interception there from Emerson, and thankfully cleared away from Areola. Plays the ball forward, can't quite get there. Kudus. Brentford play it back. Potentially. I mean, I hope so, but I'd also hope it was happening behind closed doors as well, as opposed to now before the match. I'd hope it'd be happening at other times, but you know. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Every club does. I think it was one of the things I was so proud of as a West Ham fan, the Academy of Football and all that nonsense. Like, it was one of the things I was so proud of as our consistent production of youth players. And the fact it's dried up since David Gold and David Sullivan came in, I don't think is necessarily a shock. I don't think 2 and 2 equal 3 in this case. I think they equal 4, but right at the end, at the depths of the game, Kudus on the left-hand side in an advanced position, trying to get the ball across to the box, trying to find that cross, trying to find a bit of space. He wins a throw-in. Is there going to be enough time to take it? I think there will be. I think this will be the last chance of the game. Brentford at all stations, all defensive stations. Lofted in. Corner. Goal kick. That's going to be the end of it, isn't it? It's going to be the end of it, isn't it, unfortunately? Ings gets a yellow card for something. God knows what. There is the full-time whistle. Massive shame that a good first half performance with a really good period undermined massively by such an insipid second half performance where there was just absolutely nothing. Just absolutely nothing. I said before the game that I wasn't concerned about the result. I was more concerned about the performance, and I'm not happy with what I've seen. I think is the easiest way to word it. There was a good chunk of the game in the first half where I was incredibly happy with what I'm seeing, but over the course of 90 minutes, it's just nowhere near good enough. Just nowhere near good enough, unfortunately. I never felt like I felt like it was almost an impossibility for us to get the win without Alvarez and without Paqueta. I felt like we wouldn't create enough, and I felt like we wouldn't be anywhere near defensively solid enough. And the truth is that both of those things came to be, and the performance was nowhere near good enough. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to see a situation in which we could look at the team and go, yeah, we put it all out there. We did exactly everything we could to try and do that. And unfortunately, that's not happened. Nowhere near good enough. Sucks. Yeah, what can we do? But massive thank you before we go to Budgie, to Draconian, to Tom, to GP, to Dave, Acid D, and to JJ. Appreciate you all a huge amount. Helps out the channel an ungodly, just huge amounts. Subscribe if you haven't already. Most consistent West Ham fan channel when it comes to watch alongs and all that nonsense. And also because we'll be having our live match review in just a few seconds time. In fact, let me go and grab that link so you can all jump across there to make it as easy as possible for you. We'll be live in a moment, no doubt, breaking down everything that went wrong there in its plentifulness. Here you go. I'll start spamming it in chat now. There you go. Spam it in. Like the video because it helps us out massively, and of course enjoy the rest of your evenings. Unfortunately, it's ended 3-2 to Brentford. Not a shock, but a massive shame. Go across to the review, enjoy it, and speak about your feelings there. I shall see you all for the next time. See you later, everyone. Bye. See ya.